Taratatata.
Ils ont chancelé hier, mais ils sont sortis vainqueurs contre la menace Koi. Veuillez accueillir G2. Et sur la top lane, dans la jungle, Sígueme. Sur la mid lane, on a des carries.
Ahora sí, ¿no? Nice. ¿Cómo estamos, chicos? ¿Preparados? ¿Preparados o qué?
Mesdames et messieurs, pour vos deux équipes, un tonnerre d'applaudissements, s'il vous plaît. Deuxième journée de roadshow commence.
Espera. Bueno, debería estar bien, ¿no? Salió el hola.
There's a beautiful discrepancy between Caps standing on stage, waving
¿Qué tal?
and the response.
Esports overlay activado. Vale, ya está todo bien configurado. Let's go.
As we start
Lo que no sé si funcionan los audios de streamerbot, creo que no.
here in 2026. I'm Medic, this is Jack.
El WhatsApp quizá. ¿Qué pasa, Nepo, Warrow?
Happy to be here. I think Showmaker emboldened the KC.
José Vicente, siendo rarete, God.
And now they've doubled down. They're booing absolutely everyone apart from themselves. And at this point, I feel like as a different team.
Vale, hoy se viene un partido de verdad, porque ayer contra Koi, pues fue bastante facilito, ¿no?
Players maybe they'd be like,
Lo habéis visto, ¿no?
but not everybody's getting booed.
Fue bastante chill.
I mean, but I also feel like it's booing is better when refined in my
Ayer contra Koi fue bastante relajado.
Hate everyone.
And like you can boo some people louder, you can boo some people quieter. But if you like really hate MCoy as a KC fan,
They did get a bit more boost.
they do get a few more boos. But if you only boo them and everyone else just gets silence or something, I feel that has more impact on me as a player. I'm not going
I
to teach
agree.
KC how to boo. They've obviously got it down to a fine art. We're going to get into draft for G2 versus Vitality, our first best of 3 of the day. Vitality on the red side.
Irás de fiesta en el solo queue. Pues obviamente.
Going to take away a ban that you guys can't see, so I'm not going to talk about it yet because you can't see it, and that would be unfair of me.
Obviamente, bro.
Information to further my.
¿Os imagináis que me quedo en verano 4 semanas en casa jugando al LoL?
See what
Su puta madre, bro.
I think we saw G2
Su puta madre.
yesterday. They ended up taking the win against MCoy, but it wasn't clean from either team. And Vitality, while they lost to KC, I actually think Vitality has a really good opportunity in the fact that they're
Mira que invertí muchas horas de mi vida en este puto juego, pero
early on.
Sure.
We've talked
hasta ese nivel no llego.
a lot of these teams, they went to EWC, they went to MSI, they're quite fatigued and quite tired. Vitality doesn't have any of that, right? They had a lot of time to rest. They even had
No estás tregardeando, no estoy jugando nada al LoL, chicos.
for this patch and this meta.
Voy a calentar un poquito antes de Soy Challenge, obviamente, pero no estoy tregardeando.
Like a carry, and we can see that MVP performance that we saw from him in spring.
Yeah, because even on the Kasante yesterday, he was almost able to
¿Y esto?
get Vitality over the line in that game too. The question is, will they put him on something strong, or will we see this more mid-bot focused meta that we have seen coming up? It's relatively similar to where it was at the end of spring and at MSI. A bit more heavy of an emphasis on mage bot laners and heavy roaming from your supports. Your
Yeah.
supports are out on the map from minute 1, pretty much.
There's so much weight on the support jungle in this current meta. It's not just about
Las malas lenguas dicen que te la pela.
like the support has some impact on the lane.
¿Qué quieres que te diga, bro?
Truly right now is playing like a second jungler. They can be top level 1, they
No
can
es que me la pele, es que
and they can just stay there until
es un timing de puta mierda.
like there's really no onus on them that they need.
¿Irás con objetivo de ganarlo? No.
Like we saw yesterday, it took 5 minutes before Alvaro hit level 2. Although that was kind of, he took that maybe a bit
Voy con el objetivo de jugar un poquito y ver cómo va.
You can. Leona, Ezreal, and Poppy banned away by Vitality. Jace, Rumble, and Locke removed by G2. Don't want to see Caps on that again, it seems, and they didn't have first pick, so it doesn't make sense to ban it out. Nocturne first pick for Vitality. Jarvan the answer. Camille is open with Leona banned away. The only real counter that we're seeing rise up is still the Shen.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Hoy no juegas con Aurin.
Because I feel like Shen has shown to be a better counter into the Camille
No,
than the
con
League.
Kuslim.
But I'm thinking maybe Vitality either think that they
Eso tiene prioridad.
get away with playing the Camille and Lebrov not going the Shen, but I think Lebrov for sure is willing to lock that in. We'll have to see though. Camille Nocturne are
Tengo que ver cómo los chicos de G2
range engage with the Nocturne
se follan los de la LEC.
the hook shot, and if they lock in now a mage at the Casio, it's a really good damage profile that they have thus far in the Vitality lineup.
Yeah, really good mixed damage. There's the Camille locked in, so we expect this to be a Shen for G2. We've hypothesized a little bit about other support counters. I still think Silas is a possibility, although your King Slayer doesn't heal you as much as you want. Zac
Could be an idea.
Yeah, I could see a Zac. We need a Larvik back on
Yeah.
to teach everyone from the show match yesterday. We'll see where G2 go. At the moment, Vitality have a very, very solid composition for where we are in terms of the meta on 26-14. And it is going to be the Shen as an answer from G2.
I mean, one thing with the Shen is when Nocturne puts the Paranoia, I don't think he can use the Stand United.
No.
So that's something that Lebrov needs to keep in mind, needs to use that like very preemptively
Can you
before the
do it
fight
on the
starts.
portrait?
Vuelve Go for LOL.
Yeah.
That-
I
¿Habéis visto eso, no?
see them to
Yeah.
be able to use it.
¿Viste ese partido de LEC Classic?
But yeah, I think you do have to be proactive. I wonder if G2 are going to be a little bit more on the front foot, because accepting pressure from a Nocturne and a Camille is a tricky road to walk down. You have to be able to win out those skirmishes and numbers disadvantages, at least for the start of it. We're going to see Akali banned out by G2. Super Akali yesterday caused Hans Summer, who was playing the Victor in that game, I think, a lot of problems. So no surprises there. We expect this Victor as well to be going down to bottom lane rather than going into mid. That tends to be where he sits as a mage now.
He's shown so much power in the bot lane matchups, and I think it kind of forces the Cassiopeia to go mid as well. You can play the Cassiopeia into the Victor, but I think you won't have the greatest time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe with the Camille's power, you can try to squeeze it out.
As if Camille's going to be bot lane.
That's true,
What are you talking
You're
about?
completely right, Medic. Yeah, that Camille, that's a complete 1v1 in bot lane we probably have. So you're just going to try to lock something in for the matchup. Maybe
Que me gusta que por fin piquen Shen contra Camille. Por fin, loco.
that like speaks to me, because I just feel like he always plays it. It's also the Seraphine.
¿No está la extensión?
Too much success in that one.
I also feel
¿Es
Seraphine,
mentira, Eric?
she doesn't really fit in the current bot lane mage.
Nos están mintiendo.
Doesn't have
El
enough
streamer
scaling
bot.
tools, and she takes too much time to scale up, and you kind of need carries from other roles, whereas the current mages are used for their damage spikes that are happening at 1-2 items, and then with the extra experience and gold you're getting from being bot lane by yourself. Mundo, the final ban from
Esa es la de-
now G2 pick their mid laner in the Orianna, leaving top lane as a counter pick for Broken Blade into Nuknako, which does make sense. Vitality's strongest player across the entirety of the ring was Nuknako, so making sure that Broken Blade has an even keel on that top lane matchup, it's going to work out well for them.
And I thought he would go for the Gnar blind pick, but the Mundo blind pick actually signifies the Renekton.
Oh, the Mundo ban, yes.
Yeah, the Mundo ban, I mean, yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of the Renekton here. I feel like you're playing into Jarvan, which is nice, and you kind of are not too happy into the Shen.
Me sale hit también. Vale.
Or Empower W, but as long as you play around that, it's fine. But they already have two long-range carries that Renekton needs to deal with. You don't have great engage, but it's, I mean, Nuknako on the Renekton has had so much value, but we'll see what BB can find into it.
He's gonna grab the Kled. He's gonna grab the Kled against T1. He single-handedly dragged G2 to their first win against the back-to-back-to-back world champions in 7 years. And now he's going to try and drag G2 over the line in this game as well.
Hopefully not drag.
I mean,
Hopefully they will come along
help
with
carry
it.
G2 across the line, I guess, in this game. Looking at these two compositions, though, I want to kind of try and set our minds, say 15, 20 minutes into the future.
Yeah.
How do we feel, firstly, the early game is going to go? Who's going to be making those inroads into the enemy's jungle? But also, how do we feel they're going to interact as the game goes longer?
I do think Vitality are the ones that want to pull the trigger early game. Silas, so much
Al igual ahora.
Nocturne stronger than the Jarvan early game. Camille, we've seen it so much. I would love to see Vitality copy what KC did yesterday with the double invade. I think Camille can invade bot side, Nocturne can invade top side. Or
Chicos, ¿os dan premios o algo por las apuestas de Solo Challenge?
the only thing is if Lebrov goes to Hail of Blades, Shen has a
Me
lot
estáis preguntando mucho.
as well, and that's why we've seen this pick be so successful into the Camille. But I do think Vitality are in the driver's seat. They also have a next great early game champion. Cassio has a lot of fighting power as well. And I think in general, when you're looking at both of these team comps, when we're entering into the team fight, it's going to be about who starts the fight first. There's very
Hola, Sendito.
Rasco, gracias por esos 42 mesecitos, gracias.
Kled has a lot of base armor, but he's not going to be very tanky, or base HP rather.
Yo, David Casco.
It's just going to
David Casco.
That makes sense, right?
How you doing, bitches?
immediately at the start of
Juega Low Master si te quiere.
Everyone's information, there's a brief delay between
A ver.
select and the game to ensure that everyone is connecting
¿Qué es esto?
successfully into the lobby. And also, it's the first time we've ever seen Kazi play Cassio in pro play.
I think we'll be seeing a lot of those.
Yes, yeah. When we move towards the... Oh, okay, so how do we counter Mage's bot? Well, we put a tank down there. It's the first time we've ever seen Kazi play Mundo bot lane, by the way, guys. Just
I hope we take it in the other direction. I really like the Akali. If we go like Akali,
La diferencia es que soy Low Master porque no estoy jugando, porque no quiero jugar.
even if we want to go
What's good into
crazy,
Assassins?
tanks.
Cuando quiera pillo Challenger.
We just end up back at the same point regardless.
It's the
En eso que Challenge voy a jugar un poquillo, pero no.
everything eventually becomes
Mira dónde tengo las dos cuentas. Holy shit.
becomes tank.
¿Verdad?
We are just waiting to get on into the next lobby. Let's talk a little bit about these guys' performances yesterday. Vitality did not impress me, especially considering they have had a longer time to recuperate, to scrim,
Qué
to
odiosidad. Preguntan algo ahí nomás para meter conversa y respondes así.
drastically shifted. They didn't really impress me with what I saw.
Pues lo eres, no te puedes quejar de que te digan así.
For sure disappointing, and
Espera, ¿qué
as I touched upon
está
earlier,
pasando?
this is a great opportunity for Vitality, but it's also like, if you don't grasp that opportunity, you've already kind of shown that when this was your best chance, that you weren't able to bridge the
No
gap.
entiendo por qué dice a Mauri y Sol que eres malo. Chicos, ¿qué está pasando?
Close to being in that top.
Según el Sol, eres muy malo.
Of it last split, we saw that they
What?
could be so good when Naknako's on.
Ya le tiro beef a todos. En plan, ahora tiene que tirarme beef a mí o qué.
Cannot do it right now. It's hard for me to believe that the likes of G2, MKoy, KC,
¿Le tiro beef a mí?
improving more rapidly than Vitality will.
And to give Vitality their due, because I do agree with you, like Fiesta is new and
That's
has
true.
come into the team, and they are working out synergy with him and making sure everyone's on the same page. And maybe they can level up across the next 7 weeks, and then we'll get to playoffs, and we'll see them challenge in playoffs. We are
Soy muy malo, chicos.
teams to worlds.
No, es verdad, soy muy malo, soy muy malo.
Estimations, especially in mine, it's MKoy, G2, and KC, right? Those
To be
are the
fair,
top three.
last year we thought the same thing. It would be G2, KC, and MKoy. And then Oscar Rinen had the best series of his
Puso tier C en su lista y dijo que eras malísimo.
I'm not saying that.
Sí, es verdad.
Yeah.
Es malo.
I mean, and Naknako, we've seen him have pretty damn good series.
It's
If we
very
were to
true.
do 1-to-1 here.
Soy muy malo, chicos.
You're
Eso que hay.
predicting now.
I'm not predicting.
KC versus
I
Vitality.
was just
third
following.
place
You
match.
said anything is possible. I was kind of following you down that road.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Ben tell me to shut up and then moves on with something else. So it's nice to have a co-caster that aligns with me. G2, on the other hand, a little bit messy yesterday. I think we've heard a lot from Lebrov talked about it, Caps talked about it. Their schedule has been
Ya estaba muy tranquilo.
WC with MS
Estaba muy tranquilo sin tener que aguantar a
to actually evaluate where
flipadillos como el millor.
Yeah, I mean, Lebrov said
No me voy a dejar calentar.
days after MSI, before this LEC road trip
Voy a vivir mi vida con cero cortisol,
whatsoever. So
como lo estoy viviendo estos últimos meses.
the games, you're playing on stage and just taking the learnings from those really quickly. But I also think the current meta right now is so explosive. We see junglers like so much proactivity in their
Ese golito ahí y el Mauro este. A ver,
and I think
no es lo mismo porque son unos matados.
if
Pero Mauro
Mill can execute the early game strategy
es coach de verdad de la LEC.
behind
Entonces, si Mauro dice tonterías,
like this, and
pierde credibilidad.
Yeah, if Vitality can get ahead in the first 10
Esa es la gran diferencia de los tres.
game away from G2,
El único que realmente
time to scale up.
gana pasta
When they do, there's
con LOL a nivel
side of Vitality like Silas.
es Mauro.
Late game is difficult to deal with.
Pero viendo lo que escribe en Twitter,
That G2 can't just
no sé cuánto le va a durar.
really carrying on a Clyde because you have a Nocturne as a threat sort of
Porque credibilidad nula.
in that side lane. Let's get on to Summoner's Rift though. A new
Vale, vamos a ver.
although this map
¿Qué escribe?
for I don't know 7 years now. It's been a while since we've seen the old school classic map. As Fleshy looks for Caps in the mid lane. Gets the adaptive defenses. Caps trades
Entraba Vitality por enchufe.
here as well. But the invade is going to be delayed as Linsus is Fleshy going to come across.
Lebrov
Looks like
chose
they will team
to
up.
go for the aftershock, so he doesn't have too much fighting power.
Oh, la brav.
As well.
¿Qué escribe? Dijo algo de que Sendo es peor player que el millor.
Dive does go
Ya está, a partir de ahí ya debería perder su trabajo en los esports.
They accepted that. They said, hey, we're not actually really going
Vale, ¿qué está pasando aquí? Últimamente se me están haciendo los invades level 1.
around to see if the red is stolen as well. But
Skewmon lo sabe, contra
towards the enemy jungle should be spotted on this ward.
Camille nunca puedes empezar en Raptors, porque te meten unos invades históricos.
It's really going to be the linchpin to what makes this play worth it or not. Because overall, Caps didn't lose his flash, didn't get too chunked by Fleshy. But Linces wants to try to find Skewmon here. Skewmon has no smite. But Linces, I'm not sure if he's going to be in time. I think Skewmon will get the Krugs, but Fleshy's wrapping all the way
So
around
close.
from
Oh, he flash smited Linsus, you absolute monster. Skewmon's going to execute. If it works, it works. Flash for flash, Linsus does manage to get the Krugs.
Oh, Carsey, whoa.
¿Qué hace Carsey?
To Lebrov here. Hunt Summer's there as well. Carsey just walks straight into them, and Hunt Summer and Lebrov don't have enough damage to get the kill.
You know, and we said the early games were explosive. I'm glad both teams decided they're going to prove that. As
Are we sure this isn't a show match? Are we positive?
well, the kill score
¿Qué
0
cojones es esto, bro?
really happened.
True, yeah, nothing has happened, guys. No one needed to watch the first 2 minutes of this game. Fletchy also did go up towards the top side to try and cover Knuckle as he pushed Broken Blade in, but wasn't able to find any purchase on a gank. Lebrov is now out towards mid. Needs probably 4 minions of this wave to get that level 2, so he's still a while away. Shen level 1, obviously very powerful anyway with that Shadow Dash. Fleshy is down here, as Kazi only had to use the Ghost previously. He does still have a flash of his own, as does Fleshy.
The biggest winner of this play is Linsus. While he didn't get the kill, he still got the Krugs, and he got a pretty big tempo advantage, as he's now finishing his Wolves, and Skumon just goes to his already dead Raptors. Has to do that red buff, and it will depend on if Linsus can get double crab to really like snowball and
Es de 3 Hansama, no pueden hacer esto, creo.
bot lane, but
¿Y qué acaba de hacer Fleshy?
not too much follow-up damage.
Where he did manage to block the hookshot wall dive, which meant that
Y
Hunt
les funciona, what?
and it allowed him to walk out.
También te digo,
Junglers are going to be on
está bien, ¿eh? O sea, las runas de Carsey. Yo te digo una cosa. Casio, con el Death Attach, eso es bait, ¿eh? No es bueno. O sea, es bueno en una línea turbo volátil, donde a lo mejor level 1 puedes hacer algo, alguna chiseada muy...
This game, I'm unsure if I like it.
Eh,
I like it from the comp POV, but the ultimates, I think
donde puedes sacar ventaja así level 1, chiseando con el damage de Death Attach.
pretty good.
Pero escala mucho, mucho, mucho peor que el Conqueror, en Casio.
Linsus is getting the second
Es muy bait, ¿eh? El Death Attach. No lo puedes picar siempre.
Shockwave is good as well. If you could put it on the Nocturne, incredibly powerful, but you can't. You have to.
Es mejor los primeros 3 levels, literal. Luego ya va para abajo.
United can be good,
Luego Conqueror es mucho mejor.
Be good.
but that's like situational.
The problem always is with Sand United is you are CCing yourself to use it,
Yeah.
and
Hay
then
mucho tryhard, ¿no? Hay que dejar sus huevos para ganar.
fight, and I'm trying to shield someone.
No,
or
no,
doing a
no
secret
quiero-
damage
no quiero
where
jugar al
opponent
LoL.
should be dishing out the damage at that point. But
Y no voy a jugar al LoL en verano, chicos.
to threaten Broken Blade on a side or
Y
something.
yo valoro mucho más sus...
So
Hoy en día,
I think the Silas is
yo hoy en día valoro mucho más los veranos con mi familia mientras estén sanos.
I think Kled
Y
ultimate,
mientras yo esté sano,
yeah,
if you're
nice
trying to, like,
charge.
big, like especially you're playing against the Victor and the
que un
Orion.
poquito más dinero en mi cuenta bancaria.
Yeah, I guess as well with the if you're going for a long range paranoia, then being able to charge follow up on the paranoia means that your Nocturne isn't
Es así.
active for too long.
Es así.
See if that all comes to pass, or whether or not we just have some invades and some flashes and some exit.
Valoro muchísimo más
Seems to be the way that the early game has gone, at least for these two teams.
el tiempo con mi familia.
Boards on this.
Y el verano para mí siempre ha sido...
He wanted to base, and Fleshy cancelled him, and then Lebrov decided, oh,
Porque la boca del millón siempre es Godsend, que no se le puede callar la boca a un perro, loco.
Fleshy, but it's like, if you already wanted to base,
I don't really.
Tengo una playlist de humillaciones el millón y no se calla la boca, que no funciona.
Sit next to your AD carry,
Es el tontito de pueblo al que le han pegado ya 15 veces y aún sigue siendo el tontito de pueblo,
and now it's kind of just
y vacilando a todos.
on the map.
Ese no aprende.
Extends, not expecting you
Ese hay que excluirlo de la sociedad y ya está.
to at level 2 up into
Pero a base de ostiones no aprende.
um,
Ya se intentó muchas veces.
more going through these players' minds.
Entonces lo que os voy a decir es eso.
I mean, I think there's way
Yo no tengo que demostrarle nada a nadie.
now to
Yo estoy chill. En lo que es el LoL,
surprised if this
yo
match continues though, because
voy muy chill.
a lot of people complain about the jungle role.
No tengo que demostrarle nada a nadie.
Two junglers
Y literalmente Challenger en no sé cuántos roles con todos los champs del juego
do constant.
durante 10 años. O sea, nadie me puede decir nada.
You can argue that it's too
Un Ello ya me puede decir algo. Un Razor me puede decir algo.
run around the map killing people.
¿Sabes?
You
Pero
can't
nadie
have
más.
any sort of semblance of
Nadie más me puede decir absolutamente nada.
to what support you normally
Y el Mauro Gary este tampoco. Que no sabe clicar y por eso habla de jugar a videojuegos.
Get your quest
Porque no sabe jugarlos.
anyway and kill everyone, right? So Riot-
Yo respeto mucho más a los coaches que fueron
Hey, enough of it.
profesionales.
Get rid of the top laners as supports, please.
Los coaches que
And they work out ways
simplemente porque saben hablar
to be as, nerf
son coaches,
in the world atlas
no lo respeto mucho, la verdad.
to proc it outside of your lane, right? And make it that you have to, and then you have to force
De
people.
hecho, mi mejor coach que tuve durante mi carrera
I think we've rattled on enough about why we think support is broken.
fue Suefa,
Doing a good job.
que ganó la Liga de Oceania como 5 veces seguidas, o 6 veces seguidas.
Early here, 6.5 minutes in.
and we're seeing the reward of the early game plays from Vitality.
Ganó... O
Full
sea,
level nearly
aunque fuese solamente Oceania, el tío
drugs, but still a big lead from Linsus.
dominó su liga.
He's able to pick up
Y se notó, o sea, el tío era muy bueno, era muy bueno.
to just how much Fleshy is. You can see him constantly kind of bullying out Lebrov. And when you're playing the Shen into the Camille, you're not expecting to win the early game. It's mostly just about like kind of containing her.
Oh, great engage there by Fiesta. Ignite Shockwave doesn't come out in time, and Fiesta gets first blood on Caps.
The Camille has not been contained as she now finds Caps. Caps tries to flash away, but is not able to get it. Has some trades in top now from Narco. Ooh, doesn't get the dismount. Skewmont is in the area though.
And Narco's used the dominance. He's going to go over here, place a ward down, and should just be able to back out. I don't really feel that G2 wants to continue.
¿Cómo te ves como coach? Pues no lo sé, tendré que probar.
The recall.
Pero...
I mean, hits Abscond have done.
Tiene flash, Caps.
I mean, Caps feels really
Ah, qué putada.
the pink ward in the bush below, and he has the
No sé cómo sería como coach, pero...
fleshy paths around, and because, as you say, Lance abduct?
Abduct, yeah.
It's a crazy ability now.
It's a good one.
Todo lo que le trae jardeo son muy buenos, así que yo creo que sería buen coach también.
Abduct. Quickly, I know I said I talked enough about support. This is one of the reasons that Camille's support is so broken, is the paranoia comes down. They'll chase on to LeBron, who tries to flash away, but there's the fear, there's the abduct out of the absconder, and Fiesta's now 2-0. A charge in though from Broken Blade as he looks at the chase onto Fiesta. Fleshy trying to get across the wall, has no flash, hook shots knocked up in the middle of it, and the dash back in with
Quedar contra Naknako en solo queue le ganas líneas de papea. Tío, Naknako era siempre... antes de competir,
the glass walls of emotion.
era Irelia ya su player, flipeaba level 3. Entonces o quedaba 0-10 o 10-0.
Just made a mistake here. He walked a bit.
Obviamente yo le hice quedar 0-10, muchas veces también.
Oh, Hansama gets out.
Pero hoy en día yo creo que es un jugador mucho más completo ya.
He made the call that Hansama will move up towards the grubs. So that starts the fight for
Pero el tío era Yasuo Irelia OTP, ¿eh? Era yo dashear a minions e intentar outplayar. Si funciona bien, si no, pues un lucky. Era de esos. Pero a full, ¿eh?
They still get one grub and they get a kill back, so I think they can still be relatively happy with this play. Well, not.
Mecánicamente es muy bueno, se nota. Se nota que viene de esos champions.
Before the play really begins, right?
That's true.
LeBron is running away. You can see Hansama is currently at tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
That's where Skewmond is as well. So at this point, they have the kill.
Yeah, Karsi's also not pushing the bot wave because they're really not expecting Hansama to open here. And then once Hansama is here, Kled ultimate is able to run them down, and Fleshy's super close. I'm surprised he didn't get the hook shot over the wall there, which leads him to go in, and then Fiesta's like, okay, I'll try to avenge you, my friend, but he doesn't quite have the damage to actually take down Hansama.
Yeah, Hansama flashing over the wall.
Pasa Franco Pérez.
They chased out his solo HP. Has to
Uy.
away from the dominance and the slice and dice. In the end, will escape. Nucko
Van locos, ¿eh?
flashes with his enemy top laner. Fiesta's been everywhere on the map. Yesterday didn't have the strongest of starts to his LEC split and to his career here, but now 2-1 and has been roaming around a ton.
I think
Es verdad que han bencheado a Humanoid. Bastante loco eso, ¿no?
And he was a really, really aggressive player. He died a lot, but he also killed a lot.
¿Por qué benchearon a Humanoid?
Just like, you know, you want to constantly fight. You go pro to belt, you roam around the map, you look for kills. It's like the meta Katarina, kind of.
Oh, sure.
You just want to permanently fight, and he's showing that in this game. As Naknako chose to stay here at really low HP, but the whole team is here.
On their way, dude. No real escape for Broken Blade. Charges straight into the maw of that crocodile, and it's hard to navigate your way out of the jaws of a beast, but he does it well. As in the end,
No le quitaron ni la montura. Humo de bot.
I think they weren't quite sure where Skewmond was or where Lebrov was.
Broken Blade walking back up though. Skewmond is here, and Lebrov is now finally moving
Por
up.
cagarse fuera de váter en las oficinas. ¿Eso es verdad, chicos? ¿A mí me confirma que Humanoid cagó fuera de váter
For so
en las
long.
oficinas?
I don't think they can go for a dive on either side because both top laners are so tanky.
It's also the risk of a paranoia, right?
That's
you know
true.
Nocturne's probably in the area. If you go for a dive and immediate paranoia comes out, you don't have Stand United, you don't have much follow-up. So it's going to be tricky for them. G2 will just back away. Next Drake up in 45 seconds time.
Fiesta was hovering towards both sides, but takes the plant over the wall. Both bot laners basing. I think both teams are calling for the Drake. We'll definitely see a fight here. I would be surprised.
No se duchaba por lo visto, no fue por hacerse pajas en el baño.
Fire torch
Hostias,
on
por todo eso.
Hansama as well. And Sundered Sky on Skewmond. Stridebreaker.
Pues normal que lo bencheen entonces, tío. Qué loco todo eso.
Short of it. Broken
Pasa, Gorky, barra. Barra.
to start things off with that Tiamat.
Maybe I actually do
Salió el sol.
want to contest the Dragon. I think mostly because of how strong the Silas is in comparison to Caps. With Caps not having the first item, as you say, Medic. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get much of the cross
Y no me voy a acostumbrar nunca a estar en España, te lo juro.
Maybe they have the damage.
Que me reconozcan por la calle en España no me voy a acostumbrar nunca.
Clear the wave. I think this is a really nice play from Vitality.
Acabo de recordarlo. Ayer, ¿qué fue ayer? ¿Fue ayer o antes de ayer? Me reconocieron en Mercadona de aquí, del lado de mi casa. Iba con mi pelo suelto, así después de la playa, parecía Tarzán, literal. Mira este chico. Sendo, ¿no? Le digo. No. Dice Sendo. No me esperaba verte por aquí, no sé qué. Digo, nah. ¿Cómo me reconoces, bro? Primero, la gente no sabe que estoy aquí. Segundo, parezco Tarzán, vengo de la playa. Con el pelo suelto, todo mojado, en bañador por el Mercadona. Muy loco, muy loco. Porque claro, tenéis que entender que a mí eso en Alemania no me pasa, ¿sabes? Entonces siempre que vengo a España me llevo el susto. Y como paso la mayoría del año en Alemania, pues nunca estoy acostumbrado. Vale, Hans.
Kazi was forced to flash ghost away from a Cataclysm and a charge out from Broken Blade and Skewmond. In the end, an exchange of the bot lane mages summoners.
¿Dónde estás? La casa de la abuela. Puedes verlo por el setup, ¿sabes? Mira aquí el armario tal. Armario de... No es ni de este milenio, este armario. ¿Y este meta de bot lane? Pues eso. Por fin. Algo diferente, ¿no?
Dodges to the side of the Abscond. I don't think Broken Blade's tempo matters as much because Hans did have the TP, so he just TPs back up towards the top side. He's going to push.
Está metiendo caña, ¿eh? De fiesta a Caps.
If does want a path towards top, he can now go and catch the next wave. Instead, he's going bot, so he will lose a couple of minions.
Pero que se llame fiesta es bastante god, ¿eh? Que se llame fiesta de tío, god.
Between these two teams in about a minute's time. Still first items across the board. Nothing too substantial having been built above that, but we will have level 6 on both the supports for that Rift Herald fight.
Finally, huh? This really
no tiene DPS, por ejemplo, ¿no? Objetivos raros. DPS decente. A ver, Vitality tiene un poquito más de DPS porque tienen Casio justo, pero los equipos están drafteando así, ¿eh? En general. Siendo la concha está por ahí. Es enorme, ¿eh? Es enorme mi concha. No sé si la habéis visto, chicos. A Gorky se la enseñan para veces ya.
I do think Carsey with the Rod of Ages, the fact that he has so much more tankiness than Hansama has, makes it a lot easier for him to not worry too much about Skewmond versus Hansama worrying about Linces, as Fiesta's already all winning, but LeBron is here.
Stand United immediately. Fiesta does have the flash and the rocket belt.
No lo matan.
Shadow Dash gets the taunt, but LeBron and Caps begin to walk away because they know the rest of Vitality are making a beeline through the river. Fiesta low shockwave flashed away from, and Vitality won't punch back.
I think Fiesta got a little bit cocky there, like he saw that he could kind of take the 1v2, but then Caps had a little bit more damage, forces the flash from Fiesta, and with that, they're gonna get full control of the Herald, forcing Vitality back. Broken Blade with some good trades onto Naknako as well. I'm curious if G2 decide to start the Herald. I think Caps can look to base and TP. Oh, he just wants to hit the tower here, actually. He has the support from LeBron, but still needs to worry a little bit about the paranoia. That's why he's not continuing to just hit the tower there.
Yeah, Fleshy also he's known to be in the area. That's a known bit of information for G2. And with him being level 6, doesn't want to get caught out by that Hexagon Ultimatum. And here it comes. Flash forward, Ultimatum, Paranoia coming in as they dive towards Caps, who does have the flash and gets out in time. Great Shadow Dash onto Linces. Underneath the tower means he takes 2 shots and is sent home in a body bag. Fleshy next on the menu as the Cataclysm comes out from Skewmon, locks him in place.
¿Qué acaba de hacer Fleshy? Es first time Camille. Usó la E. Tío, no sé por qué los supports juegan first time Camille.
From Vitality, Caps was respecting. He had the flash as well to get out, and G2 want to strike back onto Naknako as well.
Caps with a great TP.
No sé por qué los supports juegan first time Camille todo el rato. Es asqueroso.
Does have the flash. Oh, Shockwave only up in 7 seconds for BB and Caps.
Es asqueroso.
To find a kill on the enemy top.
Naknako tried to get away with the dominance in the flash, but he just doesn't have the HP to do so. I like that from Caps that he immediately TPs there after the play is finished. They don't go for the Herald as now. Fiesta might be in trouble as well. Has no flash.
Juan, es tontería.
Someone's on his way up. Fiesta has no flash. He's stolen a Cataclysm, but he's locking himself in a cage. He still manages to take one down in Hell in a Cell. He'll fall forward. It's BB, in fact, that TP'd in instead of Hansama. And G2 find a slew of kills across the map.
Nice little outplayed from Fiesta
it's good
there
from Fiesta.
to get one back at least, but you're definitely seeing G2 with full domination on the map as they're utilizing these teleports. And Vitality, they have a lot of teleports as well, but they just haven't been able to really find the good place to be able to make use of them. The biggest advantage that G2 has in the teleport is the Hansama over the Ghost, but Vitality are actually just doing the Drake.
It's why it's so good from from Fiesta, sorry, to take out Skewmon, because they know there's no jungler up on the map. Vitality can hard force it.
Mola el Fiesta, juega. Sí, parece bueno,
Drake put them on Soul Point in his mountain, and currently
Naco comiendo pollita.
it's the new blood on Vitality that is keeping them in this game.
For sure. Fiesta is having a really good game as Broken Blade goes under tower just to get a trade here. It felt personal a little bit, just wanted to punch him.
I mean, I think hoping maybe Knuckle pops the Dominus early or something just to make sure you can survive, because Caps is here. There's a paranoia possibility from
Es el mejor Broken Blade,
seconds on that CD.
Yeah, I really like this play from Caps. He decided to ignore the bot wave because it was so pushed in, and they're just...
Torredazo, loco. ¿Y ahora TP a bot? Ah, no tienen TP. Wait, ¿quién recoge bot?
And the paranoia is up in 5 seconds.
Oh, no.
The Bob has Stand United. Rifthold was started. TP from Hansama as well, as they're going to meet flying through the air. Broken Blade has that Stand United on him. Shadow Dash tries
Oh, sí.
Knuckle doesn't get torted up. Lensa still falls first, and now
¿Pinzas?
on to Fiesta, who is isolated in the
¿Fiesta?
5 in G2. Very happily take his life and charge forward as Vitality are charging to an early grave. Knuckle with the dominance doesn't dominate no one. Taken out by LeBron. Fletchy follows suit.
Wow, qué buenos son mis chicos. Qué buen trabajo he hecho como co-streamer. Voy a hacer un poquito la de Mauro y voy a ponerme medallas que gana otra gente. Qué bien juega mi equipo, G2. Vamos, chicos. Gracias a mis consejitos, chicos. Qué grandes. Follada Vitality. Vamos. Qué buen co-streamer soy. Medallita aquí. Oh, sí. Medallita por lo que hacen otras personas por mí. Medallita. Qué bueno es mi equipo. Vamos. Let's go, G2. ¡Woo! Me gustan los deditos en el ano mientras comento los marcianitos. Sí. Deditos con forma de dragón. Vamos. ¡Uy! Karsi, ¿qué haces? Con forma de rabo de dragón, no con forma de dragón. Juega bien, tras BBS. De hecho, ahora mismo estoy sentado encima de un dildo, chicos. No sé si lo sabíais. Para hablar sobre marcianitos inventados, siempre viene bien. Dildo en el ano. La bro, ¿a dónde vas? Boludito, sos tremendo.
Return into its burrow.
Fiesta kept the
should be able to take it,
Yeah, a little bit of an overstep from LeBron. He wanted to look for Flashy since he was
What the fuck is that shit?
his recall, but he stepped a bit too far forward, and with that Vitality, get the Herald. It's still 4,000 gold lead, but it is 3 Drakes from Vitality, so all it really takes is one mistake like that from G2 when the Drake is spawning, and the game can turn in Vitality's favor.
But
Boom, son.
Soul enough to overcome a 4,000 gold deficit.
I mean, hopefully, with the pick and the Mountain Soul fight, you would also get gold. But
sure.
Yeah, I think
No lo pueden liar en la siguiente fight. O sea, el siguiente dragón tiene que ser nuestro. Si no, pues
I'd still say G2
se puede complicar.
So, no.
I get that. It's just one of those, like, at the moment, it really feels like assuming G2...
Tiene VIP y no deja sub. Chicos, tengo demasiados VIPs, A lo mejor tengo que poner de regla que tienes VIP, tienes que estar suscrito también. Si no, tengo demasiados.
Fair though.
Tengo demasiados VIPs. No puedo haber tantos VIPs.
Probably their strongest in an extended fight, Karsi, right? So I do
Buena regla.
especially as he gets
Y para los mods quizá también.
gets a level there, and if he's able to really actually participate in one of these longer fights, because it's felt like most of the fights Vitality just didn't have the damage. They ran out of steam pretty quickly.
No, a ver, mods ahí limitados.
Provide that.
Mientras me canten los mods, todo bien.
She also needs to
Jaising, no has cantado aún.
seen them now
Yo te cobro en carne, no te
a
preocupes.
bit too deep or not pull the trigger when they needed to. And I think when you're playing this Camille Nocturne, you have one opportunity.
Yeah,
you
it's
need
one
to.
punch.
Yeah, if the paranoia is bad, the whole fight is always going to be lost. So they really need to find either Caps or Hansama, picked off, one-shot them, and that's how they start the fight.
Oh, really nice jousting over the wall there. Sandy Knight coming in as well as Fleshy flashes away. Broken Blade flashes into the face of Kazi, but Fleshy's not saved by his Casio. Broken Blade's going to run away. LeBron can just dash across the wall. A not often seen mechanic there, jousting over terrain. Really nicely done by BB.
That's some nice
Eso se puede hacer.
mechanics.
Tío, hay mucha gente que no sabe cómo funciona Klett.
I think he's going for that best Klett
Primero.
title, no?
I mean, like, if we ever
Klett tiene dos formas de perseguirte por detrás de muros, por encima de muros. Si te aplican la primera E,
it seems far-fetched.
¿vale? Si te da con la primera E, luego la segunda E
Vitality
te persigue hasta Narnia casi.
Dragon.
O sea, si te marca con la primera E, te persigue a tope.
G2 does have
Y luego está la ulti de Klett,
like they really
que es un dash y luego engancha en el primer champ que está cerca.
go for it.
Cuando está cerca de un champ, él le engancha y es como una mini ulti de Nocturne.
Sneaks into the bush, now jumps.
Entonces, da igual donde vayas, si estás enganchado por la ulti de Klett, te persigue.
Coming in, Caps is here and Fleshy's already dead. The Riptail charges through, but with the cataclysm on the backline, Fiesta unable to get purchase really for the damage, now trying to dash.
Pues tuvieron una buena fight y aún así, oh, ¿qué hace la bro? Acaba de perder la fight.
Above having to flash across the wall. Caps getting chased down towards the bottom side. Abscond, abduct, does Fiesta have
Lo mata Fiesta. No, pero por poco.
as Skewmon joins
Tiene flash Fiesta.
side of the fight. And
Lo ha hecho fatal.
Fiesta found a good engage. Vitality are just too far behind.
That was a really nice creative flank, but Vitality weren't able to have a real follow-up. Hansama
¿No tienes carnet de conducir, Nagnako?
and the fact that they were able to take him down, but then it didn't have enough damage to take down Caps. As the fight is continuing here, BB might have stepped too far forward.
TP behind. BB needs to get the pocket pistol out, tries to remount, can't get there. Knuckle with a K in his pocket, a grand to the good. The question is, can he keep it and go back to Boris, or will he be sent home in a coffin? I think the answer's looking more coffin-shaped as the seconds go on. He tries to walk around the side here, but Caps
Ahí.
takes a slice.
Métele delay a tu muerte para que así nos hagamos en Asos.
Cone.
The problem is if he dies now, that's Nash
TP
for
in.
G2, but
TP
Fiesta's
in.
TPing.
Fiesta doesn't want to let a crocodile
Ahí, muy bien, para que luego nos hagamos en Asos.
alligator, and he's trying to make that happen.
¿Qué hace Caps? ¿Qué hace Caps?
Suspended by the sun, the shockwave.
Vale, muy bien, Caps.
Now Fiesta running for his life. Lince is here to try and
Pues ya está, Freenasor, grande Nagnako.
it's a party on the top side of the
Por intentar salvar tu KDA, ahora pierdes en Asor.
G2 take 2 kills. And as you said, Jack, that's probably a Baron to boot.
Yeah, Fiesta wanted to be the hero for Vitality. Save Knuckle, turn the play around. I think if he gets the
Just stop your cry, and it's a sign of the time. We gotta get away from here. We gotta get away from here.
Run in here, maybe Fleshy can get a ward.
Yeah, just
and
chuck
then,
the ward down and hope, right?
yeah, but I think if like G2
Y por eso, chicos,
team, they're not gonna
Heisen es mi mod.
opportunity. It would be very funny if they do now, but
Es el mejor.
Summit,
Es el mejor.
2,500 kills here in
De verdad, precioso.
which is that milestone. G2
Precioso escucharle.
Baron well, and they're looking to secure an extra couple of hundred gold on top of it. Fleshy will fall to Lebrov, 202.
No más que a mí para Flashy.
Uses the power
Más lluvia, menos incendios.
walk away from BB, dives across all the way to Lebrov. Okay, I did not see
Como debe ser.
coming and nor did the Shen support. Meanwhile, Nako tries to step up as Skewmon puts him into the dirt. Hansama now being protected as
¿Y esta fiesta qué es?
Shockwave pulls him back. A flag, a drag, a slice, a dice, enough. As Fiesta dies for the 6th time this game, and G2 with a 7,000 gold lead continue to push through top. Kazi locked in a cage. Linces is going to be locked in the afterlife in a second. Kazi trading on Skewmon, but Skewmon has enough to survive through it.
Carsi.
Another Vitality death.
it's a massacre right now. G2 are just kind of playing with their food. Some of the fights are relative.
Decidme canción, estoy inspirado. Chicos, chicos, chicos.
G2 are across the board,
Dadle canciones.
picking up kills.
A Heisen.
9,000 gold lead, Nash for G2. They can play to get triple in it. They can play for the next dragon. They can really do whatever they want at this point. I mean, Broken Blade is level 17 to Flesh is level 9. As we
but
watch the
that's
fight.
support stage.
I mean, but yeah, that speaks a little bit to the game, doesn't it? I guess LeBron is level 11, so it's not that big of a difference. But you can see here, like, Vitality, they can't enter the fight. There's nothing really you can fault them with. It's just the state of the game is so difficult. Carsey is able to get Lebrov really low, and that's why Linces can use the paranoia onto him. And then Naknako wants to follow the engage, but he gets pulled back by the Kled, and he ends up dying as well. And it's just
Messy.
messy across the board.
Messy, messy, messy. And no VAR to pull them out of the hole that they have dug themselves into. As G2, 10k ahead, will push through the bot side. It does feel like it all came down to that 4-5 minute period where G2 were just moving around the map so much better than Vitality, picking up kills in top, kills in bot, making sure that even though Vitality did get onto Soul Point, after that point they were so far behind. You can see the gold leads like individually 3k, 3k, 2k, 2k. It is not an NBA game. In fact, it's a game of League of Legends.
It is a game of League of Legends. I mean, it's also a shame because the first few minutes from Vitality were pretty good. Like, they got a decent lead onto Linces, they got the first few drags.
Fiesta was in a really good spot, roaming around the map. Oh, flash taunt. And there is
Precioso.
damage immediately to shed the skin of the cat.
Leshi ha hecho mal el combo.
To get on the backline, but with the cataclysm and a shock.
Leshi ha hecho mal el combo de la
Oh, it's a
¿Lo habéis visto? Flasheo al aire.
Caps doesn't even fall, only Naknako survives. And G2 will just push in for the win. Naknako with the 6-pack TP. It does give him a shield, sure, but I don't think the shield matters too much when you're immediately relegated to standing on your fountain. G2 will close out game 1 here as Vitality continue to struggle to find form in sub.
Much better game from G2 though. I think they bounced
Follada.
from a rough early game really well.
Nice. Me gusta, me gusta, me gusta.
He played against this full dive.
Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien.
Baiting them in, playing on the edge really well. And across the board, it just felt like you could really tell that G2 was a much better team.
Yeah, very much agreed with you. I can see the analysts.
Muy bien. Chicos, otra más así.
We have to continue talking. Now I can
Otra más así.
AD, take it away.
Thank you so much, Medic. Wow! So, Medic, I'm actually super surprised that you didn't flame Camille's support more.
Now
We
the
know that
day
you hate it,
bleeds
and I'm joined here
into
with two
nightfall,
watch top laners who feel
and
like
you are
I
not
would
here
say
to get me through it all. I lay my guard
Bro.
down, and then you pull the
To be
rope.
honest, some of the things that Flashy did on Camille this game,
Na 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 na.
struggles of learning the champions because supports
And make you do it all.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Camille is a difficult champion.
Tyson,
She's really
precioso.
OP in a lot of these games, but she is a difficult champion. And here we kind of see the other part of the double-edged sword that is Camille. We're going to show you guys some replays where it kind of looks like things are going wrong. Because the thing is, when you're playing Camille, you feel like you're Jesus. You're flying around everywhere. You can do every single play on the map at all time. But it is quite hard to execute
What
in
is
some of
so
these
difficult?
fights. The thing is, you have one button to go in. And if you don't hit that button, you're kind of just standing there, and then you're very squishy. You don't have the aftershock. You don't have any sort of like defensive cooldown by the time you're going
Going in?
yeah, he's messing up that combo.
Yeah.
So what did he mess up? It looks fine to me.
Yeah, he tried to do the pin combo where you E to the wall, then flash, and then reposition your E so you come from a different angle. But
Okay.
there he just ended up hitting the same guy that was in front of him anyway.
So there's still two issues with the Camille gameplay. Obviously, the hookshot, you need to attach it to a wall before it does anything. But there's two issues with Camille. Execution is quite rough because realistically, you're just a stat bot and you need to find these sorts of number disadvantage or
Los
advantages.
croissants esos que, porque están en Francia, bro.
But when it comes to Flashy, it was also the mechanical misexecution. And on top of that, with the level of coordination that Vitality has, especially now, ever since that roster change, I still feel like they have a little bit to work on. And that's why it was also very hard for them to get back into the game once they started falling
It was
behind.
a combination of things for sure. We had a big discussion yesterday about it being OP. I feel like you have to take into account the fact that the supports are playing Camille. And this is not me giving off on supports. This is not what I'm doing as a support myself. But you're right, there is a barrier of entry to this champion, right? So do you think, hindsight, with this comp for Vitality, like maybe they should have thought about that and maybe it would have been a little bit more balanced if they had something different?
Look, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think it doesn't matter what Vitality drafted this game. I think they were getting ran over either what, because no matter what. Because when I look at this Vitality play, it kind of feels like one of those lower tier teams that look a little bit soulless. Every single play is a Hail Mary to try to get a kill. It feels like they're very disjointed. And it goes back to the beginning of the year where they signed Humanoid and they were like, we brought in Humanoid, he is the leader of our team, he is shot calling. And then they bench him at the beginning of Summer Split, and you see the meltdown here, because I feel like no one is stepping up in this team right now.
Exactly, and you saw it because they brought in Fiesta, and honestly, credit to his name, Vitality did bring a lot of fiesta.
Fiesta.
But it just so happened that once they started falling behind, it went all downhill. And it just... That's what they were missing. Once you fall behind, Humanoid was bringing a little bit of that to get them back in the game.
True.
But
Again,
it was just snowball.
We don't have any other context. We only know the facts, being that he's not on the team. I also think, obviously, we're going a bit hard on them, and I think we...
Espera, ¿qué?
because
Hola, Sendo, si estuvieras 5 centímetros dentro de Quentin y Skyne estuviera 5 centímetros dentro de ti,
yes,
¿hacia qué lado irías? ¿Hacia adelante o hacia atrás? Un saludo, familia.
people will say we'll
Primero,
too harsh on them.
agradezco que pienses que puedo estar 5 centímetros dentro de Quentin, ¿vale?
In a way, it's like a parent, you know.
En 2,5 ya maxeo.
In that
Pero-
split, and they made us believe.
They
So
did.
when-
Pero, si estuviese en esa situación,
and they look like
yo rápidamente
disappointed.
It's true. Who did
iría hacia adelante y hacia atrás, pero en plan muy rápido. Así todo el rato. Pa, 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 pa.
Okay.
Todo el rato. Pa, 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 pa.
I was not a believer of
Todo el rato.
but he's starting to grow on me. I feel
Durante unos 5 minutos.
So, yes, the it wasn't even animation cancel, it was a full-on follow-through, and this Kled pick was just absolutely genius, because against the comp that wants to scrap so damn much on the side of Vitality, you have the Shen on the side of yours, everything turns into a team fight with numbers disadvantage, and the Kled just scaled so damn hard, and BB was just so
Bro,
good.
you don't sell me on Kled. I know the champion. I love that
I
champion.
love it.
It feels like
No,
BB's
no, you are not doing those things on Kled, so don't make it that you can play that champion as well.
Okay. I did that swing to you in your career many times, but the thing that BB really has shown is his development on this set. It keeps getting better and better every single time we see it, and it felt like G2 at an international. You saw the comp, you saw the cohesion. This felt like peak G2. BB on Kled pushing in all the side lanes. Every single fighter ended up and in their advantage, and I just love seeing him go back to this champion, because it
It's
feels
so
like he
nice.
can't lose on it. He can't do no wrong.
It's so nice.
And I really like the fact that this is one of those off-meta picks where he just brings it out so damn much that he
¿Qué es esto,
has a
bro?
level of proficiency, where before it was always, oh, I'm just gonna neutralize you, but this just hits so damn hard in mid-game.
It's also so important when you look in the context of all the series that G2 will be playing this year, be it in Europe,
What the
be it
fuck?
internationally. The value, right, Finn, of a pick like that. Can you think of anyone else?
Pero vamos a ver algo interesante.
LEC, this is a really hard question, but or used to that you were always like, oh, of course you with your Kled, I know,
I mean,
but
I think
I mean,
back
Finn
a
on
lot.
Irelia was a little bit of
True.
a little bit of a demon.
Although banned Aurelia every single time against me, by the way.
Hey,
in
it
his
was
career.
always- it was always a
every
free
single
win.
time, every single time. But I think back to players like, let's say Jankos. I remember one time where Jankos Olaf was just winning every single game
Yeah.
for G2. He was playing Olaf, he was popping Predator and just ganking every single lane. Like
Qué
29
cabrón. It was always a free win, iba a decir Odamne. Qué guarra te caes.
just hits for you and your champion pool. That's where you can show things like
if
this.
there was Fearless, they never would have won MSI.
Qué guarra, guys.
I think they would have won even harder to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's
That team was made for Fearless.
You're absolutely right. So, entertaining game one. Let's see if Vitality can get back up off the ropes. We'll be going to a quick break.
¿Tú crees que puedes ganar el Silk Challenge? No. De hecho, si quedo top 30 es un milagro. Soy muy malo.
Brother, let me try.
Wait, brother. Let us break this instead, brother.
Brother.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
What is this, brother?
Perfection.
A new champion. Welcome to
¿Por qué no funciona esto?
You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
Tío, se parece mucho a Poppy esta chiquilla, ¿eh? Muy hot.
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and
No funciona
optimize
esto.
your connection in one tap. Express in game without ISP throttling.
¿Te gusta? Obviamente,
Shield
chicos.
yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the
Bonito fondo, di que sí, chaval.
stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to express.
También te digo, ¿eh? No soy indep ni nada, ¿eh?
Skins and
De hecho, yo creo que en España tenemos... Donde menos problemas tenemos de indepes es en Galicia, ¿no? Los gallegos. Porque vi que los vascos también pueden ser, cuidado, ¿eh? Los vascos no hay tantos, no hay tantos, pero son muy... Los indepes son muy pesados. Y en Cataluña simplemente hay muchos.
Yo, look at that. What are you so worried about? Oh,
No sé por qué no funciona esto. Sign in. Ah, no tengo que meterme en la cuenta, no es por esto. Algo quiere decir. Tío, qué bonito. Lo de Cataluña se volvió un poco meme, ¿no? Cataluña, sí, para mí Cataluña, los independentistas son literalmente los que van a Twitter y solo hablan catalán. Le hablas en español y te contesta en catalán. Le hablas en alemán y te contesta en catalán. Le hablas en inglés y te contesta en catalán. Eso para mí son los indepes de Cataluña. Pero bueno, lo que quería decir. Qué bonito me pareció. Tío, qué bonito me parece siempre en las Eurocopas y en el Mundial que toda España esté unida. O, bueno, la mayoría de España. O sea, están todos con bandera de España, todos juntos celebrando. Salen a la calle, festejan, celebran, festejan como los argentinos. Che. No, a ver, celebran las victorias sin romper nada, sin toquetear a niñas pequeñas, sin destrozar la ciudad, ¿sabes? No sé. A mí me gusta mucho, tío, cuando toda España está unida. Me pone los pelos de punta, te lo juro, ¿eh? La piel de gallina. Y una cosa que no me gusta nada tampoco es que en los dos países donde me crié, o sea, los dos países a los que pertenezco, que son Alemania y España, levantar la propia bandera está mal visto, tío. Tener la propia bandera está mal visto, tío. Eso a mí me jode muchísimo, tío. ¿Por qué no estamos orgullosos de nuestro país? ¿Por qué se asocia con todo lo malo? ¿Por qué no se asocia con lo bueno también? ¿Por qué no estamos orgullosos del país al que pertenecemos? No lo sé. ¿Por qué solo en las Eurocopas? En los mundiales. ¿Sabes? Y para mí, España es uno de los países más bonitos del mundo. Y de los mejores países para vivir. Yo no sé por qué la gente no está orgulloso de eso. No vamos a entrar en debates... No vamos a entrar en debates políticos, ¿vale? Porque ya sé que... Ah, pero tiene este problema España y no sé qué, y la bandera y bla, bla, bla. ¿Sabes? Ya sé a qué vais a decir. Pero eso lo tienen todos los países, ¿entendéis? Todos los países lo tienen. Pero bueno. Es más fácil vencer a un enemigo. Es más fácil vencer a un rival dividido que uno que está unido, ¿no? Lo mismo lo has dicho, es por política. Pero por política, Estados Unidos está en la putísima mierda y son muy patriotas. ¿Sabes? O sea, no, eso no es un argumento, porque todo eso lo tienen todos los demás países también, que están orgullosos con sí mismos, que están orgullosos de su país. Mira Argentina, bro, son los más orgullosos y la política de Argentina es de... Bro, da vergüenza verla. Por favor. O sea, no es un impedimento eso.
If you want to replicate some of MKOI's success yesterday, I mean, MKOI had really great early games that made it so that if G2 were to try to win, they could extend the game to 40 minutes. But if G2 is in the driver's seat, I think this has been true for nearly...
Pero bueno, opiniones mías, no tenéis que compartir mi opinión. Es simplemente lo que yo pienso. Simplemente me molaría estar más unidos. Pero no solamente en España, ¿eh? También pues con nuestros hermanos del otro lado del charco, que hablan el mismo idioma y comparten mucha cultura con nosotros. Pues me molaría estar más unidos. Y no solamente... Y no pelearnos todo el rato entre nosotros, ¿sabes?
And then once you fell behind on the Camille and the Nocturne and you lose some of that firepower, all it really takes is one more play after that to go wrong. And it's just so difficult to get back into the game because you really need to have a really strong one-shot with that ultimate.
Y dice que no está orgulloso de su país. Yo soy de España y estoy orgulloso de este país. Ya, pero bueno, tú tienes una pulserilla de España como esta y se llaman fachas, ¿sabes? Yo por suerte tengo la excusa de que soy de fuera, entonces como yo me crié en las afueras, como que el simple hecho de que me vea como español, la gente ya lo agradezca, en plan que no me vea como full alemán. Entonces tengo la excusa de que si tengo esto o banderita de España, no me dicen nada. Pero si lo hace alguien de dentro del país, facha. Y en Alemania eso mismo, no son cero patriotas.
Yeah, and they don't even have to do like a lock Camille trade or anything.
True.
It's actually a surprise that they've decided to ban it on blue side alongside the Poppy and the Bard. Lucian Vi already taken away by Vitality, as you say.
So, if I was Vitality, what I would
Es por la educación, sí, pero porque nos dicen desde pequeños que somos malos de película, ¿no? No tenemos nada que ver con lo que han hecho. En Alemania también. En Alemania es muy extremo eso.
But if he can have a really hard winning matchup, I mean, that was like half of the success of Vitality last play.
Yeah, agreed.
Tema complejo, es un tema complejo. Es un tema muy complejo. Vamos a hablar de draft. Ok, señores, vamos a por un segundo mapa contra Vitality. Best of 3. 1-0 para G2. Facilito, ¿no? Primer mapa, muy chill. Muy chill. Quería compartir un vídeo, pero no puedo. Muy gracioso lo de oro, pero realmente Canadá se ha llevado más oro contratos estatales que España en 300 años. Es como todo, es el marketing, bro. No es lo que has hecho realmente, sino el marketing. No importa lo bien que lo hagas o lo mal que lo hagas, no. El que cuenta las historias sobre ti o cómo cuentas tu propia historia, eso es mucho más importante. Pero eso en todo en la vida. Eso en todo en la vida. Entonces, el tema es el marketing, bro. Es como cuando tú cuentas un buen chiste en clase, pero no lo escuchan todos, y luego hay otra persona que lo cuenta en alto, ese mismo chiste, porque reconoció que es buen chiste, y se lleva todas las risas. Y la crush se ríe a tope con el chiste de él, cuando era tu chiste. Y ves cómo se te rompe el corazoncito en pedazos. Pues es un poco de eso.
As it's going to be the Syndra Lee Sin from G2. That can be Syndra mid, but it might also just be paired into bot lane. But it is a really strong mid jungle 2v2.
Sí, Teneo, estoy de acuerdo.
In Sonic Wave so easily with the Scatter of the Week from Syndra. And then
pues es igual, chicos.
That's 99% going to go up towards top lane for Nagnako. And it does mean that Vitality, instead of going for last pick for Nagnako...
Si no te amo. Yo también te amo, número de teléfono random en el chat.
First one being Yorick. Probably the second one being a tank, I would present. Maybe a range top as well. You could ban away the Vayne, like we saw. Vayne, pretty good success into the J at EWC. It was actually Lion that played against the Brazilian team. Loss, and the Cest went 15-0 on Vayne into Dokla. Okay. What happened here? But that was pretty crazy. So we'll see.
Uno nos partimos el lomo para que otros vivan de vagos. Tío, ¿quién dice eso? Digo, mi padre siempre dice que el mundo no es para los middle class. Los de segunda clase se dice, ¿no? ¿Cómo se dice? Middle class.
We'll get rid of the Yorick and the Olaf instead. Pyke taken away by G2. They want to get rid of one of those roaming supports again. Rise again with the ability to move to...
Pero bueno, para lo que quería decir. Oh no, odio Jorge, espera.
Dios, estoy muy húmedo. Necesito que me dejen deslechadito y tienes una boquita muy grande que puede servirme. Abre la boca, qué rico.
ratting for vision, jumping over walls, getting
Vale, muy bien.
vision in and getting yourself some good flanks, which can work really well with things like the
Vale, ¿qué dice mi padre siempre? El mundo es o para los ultra ricos o para los que no tienen nada. Los que están entre los turbo ricos y los que no tienen nada se van jodidos. La clase media siempre se va jodida.
And we'll see if they decide to put the Syndra towards bot lane or mid lane. I think maybe, like, I'm thinking like Anivia could
Eso siempre lo dice mi padre.
into the Wukong and
Es mejor no tener nada, chicos.
something with more mobility is nice though. I like the Ahri a lot. I wonder if Vitality want to go for a Kali.
Si no consigues ser turbo rico, es mejor no tener nada.
Jace and Sigs, but you really want something to match the mobility, I'd say. You're always picking a mobile carry here on
No
mid lane.
Básicamente, si eres media clase, no tienes suficiente dinero como para
Then a Kali does. So I quite like the LeBlanc here from Vitality, and we'll have to see how Fiesta can pilot.
hacerte un plan y tener expertos que te pueden hacer un plan para evadir impuestos, ¿vale? No tienes suficiente dinero para dedicarte a eso, ni tiempo. Pero tampoco, o sea, aún sigues teniendo suficiente como para no recibir ayudas, ¿sabes? Estás en... Es como un amigo frenzoneado, ¿sabes? Es como tienes contacto con ella y la haces reír, pero no eres novio de ella. ¿Cuál es tu brush? Pero tampoco eres un desconocido. O sea, ser un desconocido de ella sería chill para ti o ser el novio, ¿no? Es una de las dos. Pero estar frenzoneado es como que te ponen la miel en los labios todo el tiempo, ¿sabes? ¿Entendéis? Pues eso es clase media. Te ponen la miel en los labios, pero nunca pasa nada. Pues eso.
But as you say, Medic, if they fall behind and they need just a body to walk forward, Wukong is not going to provide that role well. Neither will Rakan. So it's going to be really difficult for them to retake space if G2 shows a similar...
Es porque no sabe lo que es no tener nada, no saber qué vas a comer un día es duro, lo digo por experiencia. A ver, no te digo, mi padre fue muy trabajador siempre. Mi padre siempre fue de trabajar 14 horas diarias. Se montó una vida en el extranjero él solo, Alimentó una familia entera él solo. En el extranjero. Y en Alemania nos regalan la pasta, El tío fue sin nada para allá. Y muy orgulloso de lo que consiguió. Muy orgulloso de lo que consiguió. Pero también hay que decir que hoy en día la clase media vive mejor que los reyes de hace 200 años. O de hace 100 años incluso.
They think maybe Vitality wanted to do the same thing, so they're just covering a potential play here. Well, I think
Hoy en día la clase media, todos vivimos, ni la clase media, hasta los pobres. Bueno, depende del extremo. Pero hoy en día el 99% vivimos mejor que los reyes de hace 100 años. Eso es loco, Lo que pasa es que el estándar va subiendo y nosotros lo que medimos es la media del hoy en día.
Down in bottom lane in time for the first wave. We see a little bit of a trade between Again, nothing too substantial. Fiesta
¿Dónde está? Aquí está. Let's go, baby.
Ends up being about the same HP. Good Dark Sphere onto Flashy with the Shield of Daybreak out of LeBron.
Un poco exagerado eso, ¿no? A mí no me hacen un desayuno, por ejemplo. Ya, Charlie, pero tampoco tienes que calentar el agua durante media hora. Tienes que ir a... No sé, que tienes ducha caliente siempre, tienes aclimatizado casi siempre, tienes vivienda, cama histórica, tienes electricidad, tienes vacunas, pillas una gripe, vas al médico, ¿sabes? O sea, quizá no tengas un esclavo en casa, pero todo lo demás es mejor. No te mueres por una simple gripe. Si tu mujer está embarazada, no es un coin flip de si va a morir o no. Existe el LOL también, claro. Los reyes de aquellas no podían jugar al LOL, ¿sabes? O no, él es in the Screamont. Y este se está papeando a Caps. Segundo game ya. What the fuck is going on, brother?
on a party here in Paris. Very nice.
Habla por ti, Ignacio. Yo soy infeliz. Hostia, en mi chat de YouTube están infelices. Chat, sígueme en Instagram. Aquí tenéis. Hashtag OF. Se culearon a Caps mientras debatíamos. Ya que no te diste cuenta, eso es lo que lleva haciendo Estados Unidos con nosotros toda nuestra vida, chicos. Bueno, nuestra vida. Durante muchas generaciones. Nos hacen debatir y luego nos follan el culo mientras estamos debatiendo. Esto va a mis hermanos de Latinoamérica. Esto nos está haciendo Estados Unidos. Desde hace décadas. Crean conversación, crean debates y luego ¡boom! Nos follan el ano. Es mucho política, ¿no? Aquí. Bueno, política no, historia. Ok. Caps, tú con la zorrita eres muy bueno, por favor.
He's just having an absolute joyous time in mid lane.
Another great play from Fiesta. He catches Caps off guard with the chain, and then it's a CC chain with Fleshy flashing in to land the grand entrance. And Caps wanted to try to charm Fleshy, but wasn't able to get it. That's why Caps felt comfortable holding on to his own flash, because he thought he could always just cancel Fleshy with the charm himself. And LeBron, he holds the wave a little bit for Caps. Caps is not going to be down too much in CS, but it's still 2 kills for Fiesta and a fantastic start for the LeBlanc.
Hey, it's exactly how game 1 started as well. Fiesta had 2 kills on that Silas. Now we see the bot lanes relegated to a 1v1. Hansama with some good damage out of the Scatter of the Week and the Force of Will combo. Only at 23 splinters, needs to get to 40 for the first upgrade on those Dark Spheres.
El último game lo ganaron con Hansama jugando magos,
Teleport, and Hansama is not. So if Hansama lands 1 more Scatter of the Week, and he can be in a really nice position where he just recalls, buys the Lost Chapter. Caps has no flash. No, Caps has the flash. He's just going to take a chunk. He's fine.
And just as a note, if anyone sees a ward dying and then it has a weird text box above it, basically Spectator Client isn't working quite as well as it should do right now. And so instead of showing the gold for killing a ward, it shows like at value something.
I thought they were just getting infinite gold.
It's a stack overflow of gold as the Sonic Wave is going to hit from Skewmon. Red buff there for the slow, though. Chase onto Fiesta. Tempest Cripple as well. Reveals Fiesta and Caps. He gets him with the order, gets the shutdown. The orb of deception.
Porque los ataques no se pueden fallar, si no se va,
Caps still had that right click to secure the kill.
And Fiesta was so close to level 6. He only needed
A mí que me follen el ano está bien, pero hacernos discutir no.
Skewmon was there, able to
Lo puedes decir más alto, pero no más claro, Ignacio. Díselo. ¿Peditos por el anito? Ok, pero no nos hagan debatir entre hermanos. Like those.
Caps has 2 Dark Seal stacks, and Fiesta has none.
Fiesta had 2, so now they traded.
He's been battered around like a piñata, and the goodies that come out of the 2 stacks of this Dark Seal. Yeah, relatively even early game here. I don't feel we needed either team to get massively ahead in the first few minutes of the map, although I think for Vitality...
Bastante chill en el matchup por ahora, Bibi.
...into tanks, and the further ahead you can get, the better it is. As Caps continues to trade with Fiesta, who uses his Mimic, will land the chains. LeBron flash.
Está muerto, ¿no? No tiene W.
There for the stun, all the deception out as well. Spirit Rush available for Caps. There's the exhaust, and Fiesta, he's feeling himself a little too much.
I mean, G2 support jungle are there, ready to fight, while the support jungle from Vitality were thinking about the Ocean Dragon. And with the fact that they lost their mid laner, they're going to be forced out of their own jungle.
Great triple man scatter of the week. Kazi able to satchel away. Dragon's Rage kick for the knockback and the chase.
Que bien, Skewmon. Se acabó la fiesta. No, ahora empieza la fiesta.
Just gonna go for the Gromp or the blue buff or the
Vive en medio del support. Es este supuesto GOAT de Europa jugando con novia. Este también está jugando con novia, bro. Es línea de parejitas. La mid lane.
It led G2 to being able to then move. Great scatter of the week from Hansama. And now 1,000 gold lead for G2. A denied Drake from Vitality. And it feels like these slight miscommunications from Vitality. They probably thought that Fiesta was fine. He could just use his prio, use his pressure to play for Dragon. While Fiesta wanted his support jungle to move because he wanted to keep fighting, continue pressuring Caps.
It was a minute and a half ago. I said relatively even early game between these two teams, and then an 800 to 1,000 gold lead extends for G2. Fiesta still winning out on some of the trades in mid with the Lost Chapter. Caps going for the Blasting Wand Doran's Ring. Not a huge amount of mana regeneration on top of the ring for him as the Rob misses the Zenith Blade. Skewmon went in and stole away the Razor Beaks, I believe. And now he's going to go and do that topside scuttle crab.
EP gets the base there right in front of Nagnako. I thought he would get cancelled. Game has slowed down a little bit. I think neither team
Yo
wanted.
te digo una cosa, esta partida está ganada.
Caps is pretty chunked, doesn't have the.
Vitality sin Humanoid.
Well, probably will just look to base after.
Están jodidos, ¿no?
Pretty low on the mana as well.
Yeah, I think he's happy enough.
Voy a subir un poquito de volumen.
Gets crashed in. Riftoad not up.
Oh, mira, podemos ver un poquito de...
Riftoad's still a while away. Yeah.
No funciona lo de stats.
RC
Wow.
moved towards mid lane there to make sure that Vitality could secure the grubs. We'll have to see. Lince has already gotten one. He can get two, but I think Skewmon might be able to get the
smite.
third.
Skewmon gets the second. Doesn't have smite either. Now Lince's smite is back up. TP in. Zenith played Hex
Ahora tiene demasiado volumen. Fuck you, bitch.
Looking for Fleshy. And in the end, it is 2 for 1 in terms of grubs over to Vitality.
Felt a bit bad that Skewmon was able
Ya
to
está.
get that 1 HP, but in the end, as you say, Medic, it is 2 for 1 grubs, so still a winning trade.
Humanoid, cobrando sin jugar. God.
To actually start those up.
Tío, lo mejor de ser jugador profesional es cuando estás bencheado,
1,000 gold lead
pero con contrato. Estás cobrando sin hacer absolutamente nada. Estás en tu casita, te haces
But actually with the CS lead up in top lane,
tu pajita y chill.
pretty good chunk, but he's not going to go for the ult.
Tomas tu matecito, che.
Situation, right? You're too close to the wall.
Te pones un vídeo de
Knuckle a long way away from his tower. If he'd been positioned closer towards the
documentales.
push wall, then you drag him across and see if you can get the kill. But you have a lot of armor already with the helm, with the chain vest, and with the plated steel caps as Caps rushes forward and Fiesta feels it. Caps predicting it as well.
No enfades a Caps, bro. No enfades a Caps, Fiesta, porque si no te manda de vacaciones y con esta pelotita de playa, además. Mira, Fiesta, te la puedes llevar. Te la regalo.
All three of them.
I mean,
De vacaciones cuanto antes.
Knuckle was expected, but Hans
¡Woohoo!
also has
¡Woohoo! Uy, uy.
He's about 20 CS on Kazi.
Está sufriendo Nagnako en el chase contra el casante, what?
His turret, but it's a 2,000 gold lead now, Jack. At 5 minutes, it was 0.
My spider senses is telling me that Nagnako is going to die in like in half a minute. So
Okay.
all out. I feel it.
I'm feeling it.
This feels like, you know, like when release Casante and people always got surprised. I feel like it's coming.
Okay, well, you've got 25 seconds left on your half a minute.
Maybe
See if Nagnako oversteps. I'll give you 2 minutes, okay? Before 12 minutes, we'll see if Nagnako does die. And it's one of those moments as well where you start to see the rest of the map bleeding. And
Tío,
you have to push.
a mí no me podéis dar una pelota, es increíble. A mí me das una pelota y me entretengo durante horas.
Plays for 30%.
A mí no me podéis dar una pelota, da igual, ¿eh? Da igual el tamaño de la pelota,
Have enough of an impact in a game.
de qué material sea,
Nagnako tries something hard.
da igual. A mí me dais una pelota y me entretengo durante horas.
Vitality said we're
Y yo tengo dos, y si te dan dos...
not sure if Carsey can do much of anything here. He can hit
son muy
a
redondas.
little bit. I mean, Broken Blade is full
Si es
arm.
muy redondo, igual...
We'll have to see. I mean,
you do have Satchel, but I don't think they're going to be able to get through the plates quickly enough.
Y le metéis...
Fleshy with the unsealed spellbook.
So Fleshy will be here. The
Okay.
wave- Yeah, I mean, they get the cannon wave as well.
I was skeptical on this play because I thought if Carsey's the only one TPing, it's
Los globos me pueden, ¿eh?
It's quite nice. It's now with
Coming.
Caps.
The Skew-On's here and the charm hits first. Flash forward for the Sonic Wave.
Dale, Skewmon, baby.
Strike to Skew-On. Dashes back.
¿Otra más? ¿Otra más?
There's the chase further as Linces tries to flash away, but Skew gets a double. And I will say in
Skewmon, baby. Oh, lo falla.
work well for G2.
No lo matáis.
We've
¿Lo
seen
hacéis?
it before. But here, 3-0 already on the pick. And G2 still defending topside while Hun Summer, left to his own devices in bot lane, has taken plate after plate after plate. He's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
And Carsey got some plates on top, but
They're playing
fighting
forward.
a 2v3.
They're going to go in. There's the all-out as well. As Caps is here with a Spirit Rush. The Charm still connects onto him. Kazi flashes away, but Caps gets the kill. A follow-up solo player to take down Nagnako.
Facilito este best of 3. Hoy, jornada laboral cortita hoy. Jornada laboral cortita hoy, chicos. Let's go.
By the fact that Link is on his way.
And Caps is doing so much damage on this map. Fiesta dashes forward, gets hit by the charm, and he tries to run, tries to flash.
Facilito, pa.
The cannon strike, but he's not able to. And then Skewmon is just landing all of the
Chat.
sonic waves. Takes down Linces as well. And then Caps is like, okay, I'm gonna go top now and kill you there too.
Okay, Jack, here is your mission if you choose to accept it.
Okay.
Our Tom Cruise, I'm going to give you Mission Impossible.
Tengo que tener cuidado que no se me salga
This game, dude.
un huevo así, te lo juro.
Not like this.
Yeah.
I think Fiesta might
¿Otra pelea más? ¿Más fiesta? ¡Oh! Falló el Q-Flash. Falla el Q-Flash por poco, no me lo puedo creer.
A good distortion away. Caps think he could bring the orbital deception round, but Fleshy as well with the gleaming quill did heal Fiesta up a little bit.
Caps went Magites before his first item.
Se compró Mages, Caps. Oh, se lo tomó personal, Se lo tomó personal, No enfadéis al GOAT de Europa, chicos. No podéis enfadar al GOAT de Europa. Sí, chicos. Fiesta, ¿qué has hecho, tío? Te van a reventar. Celebraste antes de tiempo, bro. Y Jace perdiendo línea. Nako, ¿qué te está pasando, bro? Te han follado los dos games. Y has jugado Renekton y Jace. Parece otro equipo. Vitality sin humanoid. Ya lo pueden fichar de vuelta, te lo juro. Ah, la puta silla, bro.
For Vitality, you've got a Blackfire Torch, a Luden's Echo, a Triforce, and you've got a chain landing onto BB as Linces is here for the chase as well. Broken Blade still pretty much only armor, but Fiesta 2 levels down, can't chase any further.
Stomp,
Feeling the power of the sun, slowed up by it, flashes away from the Scatter of the Weak, tries to trade back onto Labrov. Fleshy is here and has the charm. Can they chase any further? They now see Skumons waiting around the corner and decide perhaps that is not the best moment to go in for a 2v3 fight.
And while both top laners had their flashes burnt, it's a bit different situations as BB was pushing into the tier 2 and Nako can't even access his own tower, as now he can finally do so, but he is going to watch his own tower fall here. And G2 are continuing to finally pick up a little bit of magic resist now with the null magic mantle, but I think as he continues picking that up, it'll be a lot harder for Fiesta and Carsey to try to deal with him, as he's such a good state in this game.
Yeah, but kind of
¡Ay! ¡Perdí la pelota! No.
Said, hey, Vitality, don't get an early lead. And then G2 set up well around objectives. How are Vitality actually ever going to step into the river, into the Baron pit, anywhere near? They have no one that can face check. And then you have Caps on Summer,
to be fair,
almost slide them ahead of their counter.
I think if they weren't 5,000 gold behind, it would be a lot easier.
Oh yes, I mean, I agree.
Chat, está más emocionante esto que el puto partido, bro. Tremendo stomp. Vitality, tírate FF, va.
This happens too often to Vitality.
Yeah, but if you're 5,000 gold,
tírate FF, bro. No hay nada que hacer, chicos.
As BB now gets
I'm not blaming the draft.
Okay.
I'm saying the draft in combination with how the first 15 minutes.
Hostia, me di con la mano. ¡Ah!
For Vitality's chances of winning this match as BB survives 3 people.
Rip BB.
He went back in as he tried to dive on.
Oye, que se lleva uno casi.
Tails healed there in time. Meanwhile, G2 just pushed through the mid side.
3 torres a 0. GG.
You can see it takes quite a while to kill him.
Okay, he's now got a Negatron cloak. Basically doubled his MR. He's unkillable.
Yeah, it's very difficult for Vitality to deal with him. And even though they took down BB, they're still going to lose the mid tower. They're going to lose the Herald. Lince has got the Krugs in the bot side, but you have to feel that the Drake spawning in 10 seconds will go the side of G2 as well. And Vitality, they need to continue cross-mapping, but they also need to get some objectives out of it. They do have the objective bounties, so if they're able to get this top tower, potentially if G2 goes for the Dragon, that could be...
Está bien. Es que ahora en serio, o sea, no estoy comentando nada, pero esta partida no hay nada que hacer, o sea, que es completamente free win. Ya la tiene que liar muchísimo. Ya la tenemos que liar muchísimo para perder este game, Pero muchísimo.
Fiesta got ahead, and Vitality playing poorly after Fiesta got ahead.
I think that's fair. Yeah. And I think also Fiesta... I mean,
he's a bit ride or die.
Yeah, Fiesta kept playing aggressive, but it also felt like G2's, like Skumon and Labrov, were very receptive and adaptive to that, while it felt like Linces and Fleshy were not on the same page whatsoever.
Agreed. And you do expect some of that in week 1. The Solar Flare comes down, distortion away from Fiesta, he goes back in. Okay, it's hard to be receptive when you're doing that, Fiesta! What are they meant to do to Linces on the enemy wolves? Linces can't be there.
Yeah, Fiesta might need a siesta after that one.
¡Oh! Fiesta might need a siesta. Qué grande, Jack. Cómo se nota que eres medio español, loco. Buena esa, ¿Tú viste que ayer Caresapo mostró su cara? No, no lo vi.
Ahead of Fiesta. Have another look at this because, like, the charm misses. They go
dodging a lot of skill shots.
He's playing really well. It's just this decision here, that moment where I'm like, maybe not.
Okay, rewatching it back, he didn't dodge some many skill shots.
But he dodged the charm at the start.
Yeah.
Didn't get hit with the stun from the solar flare.
Yeah.
You can't dodge exhaust.
No.
And so, yeah, good job. But then, like, at that point, he decides to dash back in.
Yeah.
And so it's a You know, little column A, little column B. As Fiesta goes for Hans Summer, and he's doing good damage. Gets the chains down. That's a third of Hans Summer's HP left as Linces looks to Labrov, who does still have his flash.
But Vitality aren't on the same page. They sent 5 people to mid lane there, and Fiesta lands the chains, and Linces with flash, Fleshy with flash can't follow.
Yeah, I agree. It just feels like a lack of communication, miscommunication. Perhaps Fiesta, like being new to the team, is just seeing these opportunities and going for them without communicating. And this is all obviously hype. Like we're pondering, we're thinking about what could be happening. We don't know what's going on exactly in the minds of the Vitality players right now, other than, oh crap, we're 6,000 gold behind. How do we get back into this game? I can promise you that one. That thought has gone through probably about 5 heads on that side of the stage.
Yeah. They have 3 minutes now with no real objective, unless G2 want to try to rush the Nash at 20 minutes. G2 don't have crazy Nash damage.
It's a lot harder with Mage's bot now.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing Cassio, I guess.
¿Y por qué este Jace está perdiendo línea, tío? ¿Qué ha hecho? Si fue casi 1 contra 1. De hecho, gankearon mucho para Jace.
You have like DPS on top.
Tuvo mucho apoyo de su equipo.
So they're gonna have to play for the soul, most likely. So that makes it a lot easier and more.
También comieron pollo ayer, ¿no? Contra aquí jugaron Casey. Vitality comió pollo ayer también, ¿no? Hicieron 20.000 chistes de gordo, se parece a Pinkward. Es igual. En Garesapo. Ah, fuck you.
Did get out
alive. Naknako trying to defend this top lane tower as well.
No.
But it does feel like
No, tira la corbata.
still just really hard for Vitality to break the G2 formation. I think Fiesta is
Pinkward colombiano. ¿Estáis haciendo bullying a Garesapo, chicos?
He can land a second ultimate.
Está feo eso. Boludito. Eso es tremendo. ¡Ay, Fiesta! ¡Te llevaron! ¡Va a dormir la siesta!
To dash across the wall, but Caps is just too damn charming.
Fiesta keeps trying to go for plays. But
Chat,
again,
pregunta seria. Antes de que lo haga.
Fleshy is
Fleshy had nothing.
¿Me corto el pelo? ¿Me hago otro corte de pelo o no?
There are very little plays that, like, if you want to try to come back from a deficit, the way you do so is by finding a numbers advantage.
Últimamente lo estoy pensando más y más.
Because you will lose any fight where the numbers advantage.
Últimamente lo estoy pensando más y más, lo de cortarme el pelo.
You know, they have way more gold. But we keep seeing Vitality, the ones that are actually down in numbers, because one member wants to go for a play while the rest are not ready.
Nope, agreed. And it's disappointing.
No.
Like, we'll call it out. This is not
Rapidita cero.
They
Jaime,
went from being
¿lo hacemos o no?
minutes to like 5,000 gold behind at 12 minutes, and since then they have not looked like coming back into the game really at all.
Depende del corte, da opciones. Pero obviamente puedo hacer casi todos los cortes. Tengo aquí, a ver, tengo mucho pelo aún, pero pues obviamente tengo las entradas a cine gratis. Esto, ¿sabes?
Yeah, you really needed to make that into a real fight, but it's so difficult into the Ahri with so much mobility, and Cap's able to just get out and
me hago la del corte pelo de Borja Iglesias.
still push them back. No, that's okay, man.
Ahora que dices de cortarte el pelo, me recuerdas que el otro día vi un vídeo de hace 10 años que dices que Echo es tu personaje favorito. Hostia. Cuando aún no era racista, tío. Qué buenos tiempos. Pero bueno, el tiempo nos cambia. Es broma, chicos, es broma, Es una bromita. Es una bromita. Es una bromita, chicos.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not famous enough to have an item named after me. It's the fact.
Broma, chicos, que juego casante aún.
Okay, so Vitality, they want to cross-map the dragon. Unfortunately, they cannot, because BB hovers up towards top lane.
Pelo largo y los lados cortos, pues si ya lo tengo.
For G2.
Ya tengo ese corte de pelo.
Have 5 minutes to try to set up this Nasher. Due to what we talked about earlier, they can rush it, but is it a rush if it takes like 15 seconds? That's more like a take.
I mean, it probably takes more than 15 seconds as well.
So, so Vitality will have plenty of time to react. As Fiesta...
Ooh, distorts away, blind there. He gets Tempest crippled as well. Once it's on his way across, good chain out of Fiesta. Captain Kazi in the middle.
Hace el corte Ferran. Oh, Ferran.
Quite gonna die before the quickness.
Oh, Ferran. Voy a Arbazal. Dani Olmo. Lamine Yamal. ¡Oh, Ferran! ¡Oh, Ferran!
The chase comes in with the Dragon's Rage. It's a triple for Caps.
¡Dani Olmo!
It looked like
¡Lamin Yamal!
Vitality had been able to get
¿Es Oyarzabal?
in the end. Caps
Oyarzabal.
them down.
Mierda, la lío siempre, tío. Me pasa como con Cocodrilo, tío.
Back so damn
¿Es Oyarzabal o Oyarzabal? Oyarzabal, ¿no?
control of this game. He starts the fight off, taking down cars.
Tío, esta partida estoy
The rest of
estoy esperando a que terminen. ¿No juegas con CGN? No, no tengo tiempo, bro. Tengo costream.
So, yeah, like,
Yeah, he's really not.
maybe 5 more chains and Fiesta can take him down. As G2
Cucucucurella.
and with
Te
that,
come una paella.
Vitality does have pretty good
Cucucucurella.
damage stun.
Te toma una estrella.
Seals it. Tarzi's
Vamos, Haaland.
eat it towards him. No vision.
Que viene Cucurella.
The chains go down onto the bottom. Mega Inferno bomb.
Very early.
Ouch.
I mean, he also only did
Wait,
500
Funches,
damage. Oh my god! He got it! He got it with
Lo robó con la quemadura. Lo robó Karsi con la quemadura del Blackfire Torch. No me lo puedo creer.
Fiesta jumps into the pit.
Esto es una fiesta, literal.
Summer are traded. The Leandries from Kazi kills off the Baron. Fiesta will die 2 caps. In fact, it's Skewmon who gets it in the end with the
Bueno, a lo mejor fue el Liantris, claro. Fue alguna quemadura.
I mean, that's the way back in the game. I'm not sure it's enough for Vitality, but it will delay things.
Okay, so the Mega Inferno Bomb lands. Fleshy goes into the pit with the smite. So that's why Skewmon, I think Skewmon is the one who smites at 1400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Leandri's turn. It must be, right?
Landry's Blackfire Torch. That's a 68 damage?
I mean, it did enough.
It did enough. Vitality can.
Wow.
Let's see if they can
Lo
make
roba con la quemadura, bro.
facing down 8,000 gold lead.
Yes.
And now
Soul point, yeah.
the Soul, I think the Infernal Dragon will spawn in like a minute and a half.
Agreed.
So.
It's
We'll
still
have to
not
see if-
easy for Vitality.
No, no, es Tiembla Messi que viene Cucurella. Tiembla Messi
Do the same thing again.
que viene Cucurella.
They did it. They have a 100% steal ratio this game with Mega Inferno Bomb.
They should not. They do. Yeah, I also think G2 might be a little
Tiembla Messi.
particular in how
Y
they
toma una galleta.
might be a little bit more dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
And I wanna
4,000
kiss
with
you.
25 stacks of Magi as well. If he lands a charm on anyone, they are just dead.
Yeah.
So any fight is still going to go in the wave of Vitality, but it does mean that they can buy time. The thing is, you're buying time to eventually team fight them at the Dragon. So you really need a...
Y se lo roba también el rojo, tío.
He stole it with a shock blast.
Y le roba el rojo también. Skewmont va a París y vuelve sin pantalones.
Kazi's done one.
Yeah.
Nako's done one.
Now Lince's finished the
Lince's,
job.
Fiesta, and Fleshy. We're looking to you.
Le roban hasta el calzado que lleva puesto.
Game is winnable.
G2's Nexus just automatically explodes.
No, but like at that point it is winnable because you've stolen a Drake
Yeah, I just thought it would be funny.
and then
like,
a Baron. I mean,
if a
that, yeah.
jungler, like, their game just gets terminated.
It's a
if
secret
every
win con.
single enemy player can steal an objective from you.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Do you then have to play 4v5, or do you just auto lose the game as a 5-man?
The rest of you get like loss prevented. They're like, Brian is like, sorry, you guys got.
We'll have Skewmon separate to G2 in the LEC standings.
Y Skewmont hace muy poco con el potencial que tiene para ser
Okay.
Okay.
45
una personalidad del LoL, ¿sabes?
again,
Hace muy poco, o sea...
of the game
A ver, es muy joven también, ¿eh?
are able
Muy
to.
joven aún también. Pero literalmente con las performances que se hizo en muchos partidos
The thing I
importantes.
think they really need to pick before
Si
the
supiese meterle más chicha en entrevistas,
5 versus 5. They just don't
Cuidado,
have the damage or the survival
en lo que se podría convertir.
survivability, really.
And the problem for them is as well, they have literally no vision in their blue side jungle all the way down through the river.
And they're getting pushed in every single lane. There's not a whole lot of bright spots here for Vitality. But Caps is a player that I feel like he can get a bit frisky, he can get a bit too cocky.
He can get frisky. That is true. We've got Lebrov.
We're really grasping at straws here. But that's what you have to do. I mean, 5 seconds for the Dragon.
You know how you have Lebrov James, which is LeBron James?
Yeah.
We now have his name's Lebrov, James Lebrov, because he's 007. Yes, it's solid, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's the Infernal Soul.
Yeah,
Going
Vitality
over to
chose to
G2.
not contest it.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them.
Oh,
for.
Mega Inferno Bomb. This
Okay,
one was
if he
a lot
steals
earlier.
this one, that would be so
Skewmon,
crazy.
Smite.
There's no way.
Smite. Nice.
Mal juega Vitality, ¿eh?
Skewmon. Waited for it to be at 1,200. And Lince's look for a steal. Should be able to decoy across the wall here. Caps can chase him down, and with Infernal Soul, Lince's is not going to last for very long.
Caps pretty much just killed him with Spirit Rush and 2 Ws. Like the Orb of Deception did the last 5% of damage.
You think Skewmon can 1v1 this Dragon's Rage? Skewmon only has the Sunder Sky.
La Q al flash, la Q la predicción del flash. Ah, no, no hace falta, claro. La Q sí que puede.
Here comes Kazi. Dash forward from Skewmon. Hard to make it in from Broken Blade as he's just standing in the middle of 4 members of Vitality, and they can barely chip his armor. Unsummon's pushing through mid, Caps is up towards top side. Those are the damage dealers, by the way, for G2. With Vitality trying to defend a 3-pronged approach. TP behind by Nako. The flanking Jace is not a tactic I have often seen. Fleshy going in with the charm. That's going to run out before he gets to Caps. Nako is now here. Caps is the universal taunt.
No tenía flash aún, le quedaban 3 segundos.
Flashes away.
A la ulti.
Abandon their base.
De fiesta es español.
Bones as the charm goes.
Toma. Precioso. De fiesta es... Tiene español lo que yo de coreano.
Vitality invested everything into trying to kill Caps, and they couldn't even do that as Caps rushes across the wall.
Lo que pega,
Has another orb, gets
Lo que pega,
Fiesta steps forward.
Hasta luego. Toma triple para Caps.
As in the end, it's not much.
Triple inoficial. Oye, qué tremenda puta follada, bro. Qué puto rico, bro. Tomar por puto culo, loco. Vitality qué, Vitality qué. Vitality para tu puta casa, cerdas, cochinas, guarras. Pues de puta. A ver si caen un par de despidos en Vitality de una puta vez, bro. Cago en Dios. Al paro, socio. Chu, 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 chu. Chu, 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 chu. Uy. Vale, perfecto. Se acabó mi jornada laboral. Para mí termina la jornada laboral. Para Mauro Gari ahora empieza. Buenas noches.
From yesterday, because as you say, they were messy and they will play with their food. Fiesta, the one bright spot for Vitality, I will say, but his aggression in the end was his downfall.
Vamos a ver Koi. Quiero ver otra derrota de Koi, no sé yo, Juega contra K-Corp. Oh shit, es partidazo, Pero no puedo, tengo cosas que hacer.
They were what? They were 8-1, right?
Yeah.
Last regular season, they're already 2 losses now.
Yeah, and it's a struggle.
Split.
And they're playing against some very good teams to start things off with a new lineup, as you say. We'll see if they can bounce back tomorrow. It will be a tricky one for them because they will be playing up against MKOI. G2 taking a bow, as you can vote for one of them in your Kia Player of the Series vote. Broken Blade, Skewmon, and Caps are your options. Caps the only one to not be part of the bow, but also the one I think most likely to win the vote for Kia Player of the Series. He had an absolute stormer as we get ready to have an interview with him on the stage. And I will say, yesterday, G2 lost their first game to MKOI.
Yeah.
I heard millions of voices saying, perks out, perks out, perks out. What are you saying now?
Weren't you one of those voices?
4-0. Hey, I'm a fair weather fan, okay? I just support whoever I want to support in the moment. If you're winning, yes. 4-0 now, Perks. Over the last 4 games.
Caps LeBlanc, well, that was Caps LeBlanc.
Caps Ari, I mean, Caps did own LeBlanc. Okay, so I guess that counts, right? And we're going to hand over to an interview as Caps is standing by with Law.
Merci beaucoup les gars. Ah, on est là? Oui, on est là. Merci beaucoup les gars. Applaudissements pour Caps, s'il vous plaît. Caps, thank you for joining me for this interview. We are used to G2 slumping usually when you come back from international events. Yesterday was a bit slow, today smooth and clean. How do you explain the fact that it looked so
Jeremy,
the fact that you've been traveling so much?
Yeah, I mean, I think still early.
It's fine, just take it out.
It's fine, yeah. I think still early game was definitely a little bit sloppy, so just for my part. So I think we still had those parts, but I think we were very good at bringing ourselves back in the game anyway. So I think, of course, the fact that EWC was just like a week ago also helps us because we have a lot of the strategies still the same for the similar patches. So that's nice.
Le fait que les patchs soient assez similaires et qu'ils étaient sur la scène pour l'EWC, forcément, ça a aidé pour l'instant. Des early games qui sont peut-être un petit peu shaky, mais c'est pas grave, ils sont confiants sur le fait que c'est le genre de choses qui vont s'améliorer. En interview récemment avec Chibisport, il expliquait le fait qu'il pensait qu'après le MSI, leur technique, leur pratique n'était pas forcément la bonne. J'aimerais savoir comment est-ce qu'ils ont réajusté ça. You said in an interview recently that you think practice hasn't been the best, especially facing off against Asian teams at MSI. How did you refine this?
I mean, I think it hasn't been the best in like some sort of results, and like sometimes they are doing better in a lot of like the macro aspects. But I think we honestly are learning a lot from it, and I think that's what makes scrims good, right? So as long as we are taking away the tricks they're doing, and I think we are, and it's helping us come back in a lot of these games. I think now we just
Me he dormido en la silla y con tu risa me he despertado de un salto y me he caído.
À des petits ajustements macro surtout, et c'est des choses qu'ils ont appris justement en faisant des scrims contre ces équipes, et c'est le genre de choses qu'ils ont implémenté dans leur pratique. Quelque chose qu'ils ont implémenté aussi dans leur façon de s'entraîner, c'est le fait d'avoir Perks avec eux. Perks qui était son allié il y a longtemps sur la faille de l'invocateur et qui est aujourd'hui son coach. J'aimerais savoir ce qu'il retient justement de ce qu'il arrive à lui enseigner maintenant qu'il est à côté de lui en tant que coach. You've been playing with Perks, now you're coached by Perks. How is it for you? Actually, what do you think of the way he's coaching compared to the way he was playing and when he was your teammate?
I mean, I think it's very similar. I think both as a coach and as a player, he is someone who has strong opinions, but he's also very lighthearted and likes to bring a lot of confidence and test us a lot. So I think it's been a lot of fun.
Il apporte beaucoup de confiance pour le reste de l'équipe, et finalement, la façon dont il jouait et la façon dont il coach l'équipe est assez similaire, donc pas énormément de changements de ce côté-là. On entend les joueurs Carmine qui sont derrière en train de se set-up et qui vont affronter Koi. J'aimerais avoir son pronostic sur ce match-up, puisqu'en Espagne, il donnait avantage à Koi.
Espagne?
Last time these two teams faced off against each other, I had an interview with you actually, and I had your prediction. You said Koi was going to win. Who do you think is going to win today? And give me the scoreline.
I mean, definitely Casey has been looking a lot stronger, especially from EWC and yesterday. But I think they will 2-0, but we'll never see. We'll see in the series.
On annonce un 2-0 du côté de
Dice que 2-0 para K-Corp.
match à venir. Caps, thank you so much for the interview. We're going to send it to break now. Kamel, on se retrouve tout à l'heure, mais pour l'instant, on part en pause.
No break, you're coming right to us, Lord.
Scumont. A ver, suelta salseo, Scumont, di algo.
By Scumont.
Di como... Linzas es un muerto.
Thank you. I mean, it felt nice. I guess like pretty quick. I mean, yeah, I guess there was like a lot of kills. It was like pretty bloody games, but I'm happy that we were able to actually like bounce back, because the other games were like actually not going in our favor. But we managed to just like find some good comeback plays, and yeah, I'm just happy.
Yeah.
It felt like you guys were really, how to say...
Monty, Linzas es un muerto. Me lo acabo de papear. Que se retire. Dilo.
Wonky from the side of Vitality, where
Dilo.
catching you off guard, but I felt like once you were going after that initial hurdle, it wasn't...
You were flaming his Lee Sin. Go.
Okay, so I was flaming your Lee Sin. Okay, so
It's
just
fine,
for
it's
context,
fine.
I think you're one of the best junglers in EU. Maybe the best, I would say. Maybe at least top 2. But your Lee Sin, for a player of how good you are, I just feel like it's not it. But...
Yeah, I dropped a random pink water on this one. It's like
you don't even see the replay, and it's just the pink somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
But you just keep playing it, because I think at this point you are 3-7 on Lee Sin.
Yes,
and for how good you are, it feels like, is this one of those challenges that you're just imposing on yourself that, man, I really need... Okay, I thought you just flash queued and it would get cancelled by Wukong, but you waited, so that was good. But are you just doing this because you feel like this champion is super OP in the meta, or is this a personal challenge for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, like, first of all, I'm happy with the criticism, right? I really don't think I'm, like, by far, like, not the best listen in Europe, so that's completely fine. But yeah, as you mentioned, I think, like, the champion is, like, pretty strong in the current meta, so, like, being able, to, like, play it is, like, pretty, like, crucial, in my opinion. So it's definitely, like, one of the picks to, like, just that we want to keep practicing, right? Because if we don't play it, I think we'll just go in draft with, like, a big disadvantage. So, I mean, we take, like, most of, like, our chances that we can to just practice it on the stage. And yeah, I mean, so far it's been going so-so, but we won today, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, to add to you though, Odoamne, there's another clip that you might want to show Scumon. Let's take a look.
I think I know which one it is.
It's something around the Baron? Is that
Oh, yeah.
He knew it was coming.
Okay, but this is not Lee Sin specific, because...
Yeah, no. This one, like, honestly, I was shocked that my teammates weren't able to, like, deal a bit more damage. I feel like everybody just stopped attacking it, and I was like, okay, I guess, I mean, I'm ready to smite it.
Okay. Every single time this happened to me and my team, the jungler always said the same thing, and I feel like it's complete cove. But I do get it.
It is a bit. No, for sure. I mean, especially because, like, I mean, we were calling that Rakan has a smite as well because of, like, the spellbook. But, like, when you get the spellbook from the smite for spellbook, sorry, it is, like, lower damage than...
Okay.
So, okay, if he gets it, like, just well played to him, right? But, yeah, I was, like, a bit too, I guess, just nervous on that one, and I missed it,
Yeah, he did.
When it comes to Lee Sin, is it one of those things when you pick it, are you excited to learn it, and or is it one of those where, like, oh man,
Gracias, Víctor. Camiseta de G2.
I really need to get the reps in.
La
Because
LEC.
it's one of those things. Because I also had champions where I felt like I needed to learn them, but every time I was playing them, I wasn't really excited. But some of them I was like super hyped to just be like, okay, I'm just going to improve my win rate.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like 50-50 in a way, because I do know that it's definitely not one of my comfort pick, and like not my best champion in general. So we'll go into the game. I will go into the game like individually, knowing that I will have to put in a work to actually just play good and win the game, because it's different to win with Lee Sin compared to like bruisers in general, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I'm just excited to like show that I can still play the champ, but it's not always easy, because I always have this sort of like, oh yeah, if we lose because of my Lee Sin, blah blah blah. So yeah.
Because on the topic of perks, because we can obviously only speculate from the outside, but him being an expert, is this one of those things where he's also helping you? Because when I think of perks, he's also one
¿Entendéis la mayoría o no?
who was very happy to step out of his comfort zone. Is he one who gives you some advice on that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, for sure. Like, I mean, for the listen topic specifically, yeah, definitely. He's helping me a lot to just, like, not just bring me more confidence, but also just, like, actually go out of my comfort zone, as you mentioned before, and just pick those champs, even though I could be able to pick, like, another one and maybe take the win. So, yeah.
Okay, our key player of the series is Caps. He was smurfing.
You were off.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I understand. Like, he had like 25 major stacks, right? Like on the last game.
Yeah.
So
50% of the damage.
yeah. So I mean, he was just like.
Puedo resumir ahora.
He was just. I mean, I remember I was pressed up one time, and I think he had like 100% kill participation with 25 stack majors, even though he was behind in early game. So yeah, I mean, obviously he just deserved, right?
He was
played really
smurfing.
well.
You both were. Congratulations, 2 Ws on the weekend. We'll see what you'll do tomorrow as you're up versus KC. And speaking of KC, they are up on the docket next. You can hear it. They are shouting for Carmin because they are going up against their Spanish rivals of MKOI. We'll be right back with that.
Chain vest and with the plate steel Caps as Caps rushes forward.
Básicamente han hablado mucho del Lee Sin de Scumont, ¿vale? Le han preguntado un poquito qué tal las partidas. Dice que Scumont, bueno, pues que Vitality un poco de ventaja en las partidas, pero que luego hicieron buenos comebacks. Aunque bueno, mucha ventaja no tuvieron los Vitality, pero bueno. Luego hablaron de Lee Sin. Dijo Odamne que para un jugador de su calibre, que su Lee Sin no está a su nivel, ¿sabes? Porque Scumont es top, mejor jungla de Europa o top 2 por ahí. Pero que su Lee Sin, pues eso, que si lo está haciendo como challenge o que si simplemente piensa que el campeón es bueno. Y dice Scumont que ahora mismo que lo están practicando, que lo puede jugar, que sabe que no es el mejor Lee Sin de Europa ni del mundo, pero que por ahora le está yendo más o menos bien y lo quieren seguir practicando y que le parece muy fuerte el pick, básicamente. Y luego han dicho que ¿qué tal Caps? Y dijo Scumont, bueno, vi que le solo clearon 2 veces en línea y de repente tabeo en midgame y veo que tiene 25 stacks de mages, así que nada, el tío va volando, dice. Y un poquito más. Y un poquito más. Tío, otra vez un anuncio con Werlip y Red Bull, tío. No sé cómo lo hace Werlip.
Red Bull gives you wings.
No sé cómo lo hace, bro.
When I was a player, if I was to like make a misplay, maybe it's my mouse, maybe it's my armrest, something feels wrong. If you were at home, you wouldn't do that.
The Infinite Precision Armrest is part of the larger Circulab on Stage standard initiative, aimed to bring your home or training room settings to the tournament stage.
이제 저뿐만 아니라 다른 선수들도 세팅을 더 원활하게 할 것 같고
가장 편안할 때 더 강력한 플레이가 자연스럽게 나옵니다.
Vale. ¿Qué opinas de los comentarios que se dicen de ti en los streams de Mauro? Que no miro esas. ¿Tengo pinta de ver el stream de Mauro? O sea, no tengo ni tiempo para jugar a los marcianitos inventados. Voy a tener tiempo para ver streams comentando los marcianitos inventados. Por favor. Si tuviese tiempo, jugaría a los marcianitos inventados directamente. No vería streams sobre los marcianitos inventados. ¡Ole! Bueno, estás viendo la DCS, que es prácticamente lo mismo. Bueno, Franix, la gran diferencia es que si veo la LCS, pues mira, entran los billetes por aquí, ¿sabes? Llena muy rápido la carterita. Pero si veo Steam de Mauro, pues a lo mejor me entra deficiencia mental. Esa es la gran diferencia entre ver la LCS o ese stream. ¿Qué pasa, Mari? ¿Llegas ahora? Llegas para verme chapar. Chicos, si voy a ducharme, prepararme, tengo planes hoy, ¿vale? ¿Y qué esa bandera de fondo? Es la bandera que le dio, o sea, es de la gente que le dio los colores a la bandera de Argentina. De los gallegos. Los gallegos. Bueno, a Argentina dijeron, mira, me caéis bien. Azul y blanco para vuestra bandera. Y el iconito lo podéis elegir vosotros. Pero claro, eso fue hace muchos años. No sabían, los gallegos de aquellas no sabían que se iba a convertir en ese país. ¿Sabes? Los gallegos. Sí, pibe. Gallego, culo roto, la tenéis re adentro, pibe. O sea, ¿cómo puede decir que el árbitro no estaba a su favor? ¿Cómo dicen? Ustedes. Yo ahora me voy a comer un asadito argentino. ¿Viste? El filete tiene que estar así. Como una suela de zapato, ¿viste, pibe? Tremendo. Está re bueno, pibe. Y con el asadito, un matecito. Oye, tú, pero ¿el mata qué sabe? El matecito está re bueno. No te puedo explicar. Es un sabor muy, muy bueno. Lo tenías que probar. Pero el mate es como si metes hierba en un vaso de agua y ya está. Es hierba, ¿no? Pero ¿cómo va a decir? No hierba, pibe. Gallego, no tenéis ni idea. ¿Cómo se nota que no sabéis de fútbol? Pero si metemos 3 goles en la final. ¡3 goles! ¿Cómo que 3 goles, pelotudito? Fue uno y fue pura suerte, pibe. Porque el árbitro iba con los gallegos. Estoy practicando el acento, chicos. No me sale tan mal, ¿no? ¿Me sale mal o no? Está bien, ¿no? Es friendly banter. Chicos, es friendly banter. Me sale bien, ¿a que sí? Vale, ¿sabéis que no soy argentino porque no tengo la nariz muy grande? Es lo único. Pero por el acento, diríais, este tío es argentino. Bueno, por la nariz y porque estaba comiendo en stream. Entonces sabéis, vale, este tío no es argentino. Yo si cierro los ojos escucho a mi ley. Sí, pibe. No hay nadita mejor que un asadito argentino, un choripán y un matecito, ¿viste? Nadita. Me va a venir a mí, gallego, culo roto, con la paella y con cucurella. Oh, sos tremendo, pelotudo, boludo. No tenés ni idea, gallego. Sos tremendo, pibe. A lo mejor eres sargento. Alemania y Argentina tienen historia, ¿no? No, pero mis antepasados no eran alemanes. Es más italiano que argentino. Bueno, pues es como los argentinos creen que son italianos. Como el Momo, que empieza como el Paredes al árbitro. ¡Pibe! ¿Dónde está la tarjeta para Cucurella? ¿Dónde está? Como el Paredes. ¿Tú ves el partido de Argentina? Y están todo el rato, tío. Cada vez que hay media falta, 3 argentinos alrededor del árbitro haciéndolo así. ¡Pibe! ¿Dónde está la tarjeta roja? ¿Dónde está, pibe? Ah, así. El Enzo, literalmente, al árbitro. ¡Sí! ¡Pero Cubarsí! ¡No lo toqué, pibe! ¡Salió volando solo! No es nada, no es nada, no es nada. No es nada, salió volando solo, pibe. Cubarsí. Sí, está... Aún está volando, dando volteretas, pero... ¡Eso es él! Él saltó, yo no lo toqué, no lo toqué. Le sacaron la cartulina, le sacaron la tarjeta amarilla y aún estaba Cubarsí por ahí volando en el aire haciendo volteretas. Y el Enzo en plan... El Enzo, no. Cubarsí de fondo dando volteretas en plan con sonido de helicóptero. El Enzo, no. El árbitro aún sacando la tarjeta amarilla. Aún está Cubarsí por ahí volando. Qué locura, bro.
Just France versus Spain. It's also Supa versus Kalis played against each other in
Oh my god.
And then both ended up now in the LEC playing against each other. We've seen that in the playoffs.
Tampoco pesa Cubarsí. No, a ver, tiene pinta de pesar 50 kilos Cubarsí.
This year, it feels like Casey.
No era amarilla, no era amarilla, era roja directamente. Tuvo suerte que le sacó la amarilla solamente. Y bueno, como ya tenía amarilla antes, pues era amarillo y rojo.
Had a really good showing against G2 yesterday. That was very close. So now I'm starting to think that this matchup.
Dices memes de casco de Roro. God, el casco de Roro.
What they showed yesterday.
And Casey had a good win yesterday against Vitality, but I think perhaps today's performance.
¿Qué iba a decir?
G2 has proven the Vitality.
Hostia, había un jugador que se engancha en Lamine Yamal. O sea, literalmente. Literalmente, este es Lamine Yamal, ¿verdad? Había un jugador de Argentina. Este es Lamine Yamal con la pelota, ¿vale? El jugador de Argentina, literalmente así. Espera, ¿cómo se enganchó en Lamine Yamal? Así enganchado. Así enganchado en Lamine Yamal. Así, literal, ¿eh? Este es Lamine Yamal, ¿eh? Pues el jugador argentino defendiéndole, así, bro. Sí, pibe. Eso es fútbol canchero, pibe. Yamal, esto es fútbol canchero. En Europa no sabés jugar a fútbol, no sabés. Lamine Yamal, movete, pelotudo. Y lo tira al suelo, ¡pa! ¡Pa! Sí, esto es fútbol canchero. Yamal, no sabés lo que es el fútbol. Era Tagliafico. Era así. Sí. Era de él. Mira, lo buscamos. Me puse una mala hostias al final, loco. Lo vi en un bar francés y me cagué en los muertos del árbitro. Tanta atención se merece, se fue carreado este mundial, lo siento yo. Sí, a ver, no hizo mucho Yamal, pero no. Yo digo la falta. Se la han hecho.
However, can still be mid and can still be top. Although we haven't seen it as often, Casio top used to.
¿Dónde está?
Really good answer into tanks. Spam drew them quite a lot with your twin back.
¿Qué es esto, bro? Esto es fútbol canchero, ¿no?
Like that doesn't matter anymore, you know. Like we saw Carsey first time Casio now in the last series, and it wouldn't be surprised me at all if they decide to send a bot lane. It's going to be the Jarman, so the kind of two premier.
Fútbol canchero, pibe. Mira. Le agarra, se cuelga, le mete un patadón. Mira, ¿qué? En el gemelo, le hace así, ¡pam! En el gemelo. Mira, se engancha en el brazo Lo tira para abajo.
Supa had a great game on Akali yesterday.
Es balón.
Up against
Es balón.
I don't think Akali
¡Sí, pibe!
into Casio as well.
¡Uy, canchero, pibe! El árbitro va con España.
To do last game, and it might not even go to
El árbitro va con España. Y así faltas todo el rato. Me puse una mala hostia con el árbitro sin hacer nada.
pick up that Camille.
Yeah, the question was, are you going to pick Camille here? Because KC know that you want to pick Camille here. If you leave it open, KC are likely
Qué
to
asco.
pick and then ban Leona and Shen on second rotation bans if they really want to make sure Busio has an easy time. And although Busio, before the start of Summer Split, was 0-4 on the Camille, did manage to pick up a great win yesterday, had a huge amount of influence across the map. And it looks like Leona is just going to be the answer here for KC. No surprises that it is one of the two
Well,
of
I'm
that Leona and
surprised
Shen.
they don't go for the Shen, but I guess we're starting to see that teams like the Leona more than the Shen, because it was banned in game number 1 last series and the first picked in game number 2. And I was just thinking up against the Akali and the Nocturne, the Stand United should have a lot of value, but Leona as well, you have so much CC to stun any carry that goes in. It does mean, however, that I think any player that takes this Akali, whether it's Supa or Jojo,
A veces aprovechan para pisarlo de paso cuando se levantan.
avoid the Leona CC. You don't
Chicos, de verdad, de Argentina yo he visto tantos clips raros. No quiero ni hablar, me pongo mala hostia.
avoid that.
El Paredes, cuando Kane va junto al árbitro y le dice algo y se rasca el labio, y el Paredes está gritando: ¡Che, se tapó la boca, Kane! ¡Sacale la tarjeta!
Makes a lot of sense because it's so good with
¡Buah!
comp that
El de Cucurella aún tuvo un milisegundo más la mano delante de la boca, pero es que se lo hizo hasta el Kane, mientras está hablando con el árbitro.
best top player that can dive in with the rest of the team.
Me da mala espina, ¿sabes? Es como
Remember, most likely
aprovechan
KC will
todo lo posible para joderte la vida, bro.
unlikely pick their
Personas con esa actitud, tú le abres la puerta de tu casa a una persona así,
four. And get rid of the Vayne as
no lo atiendes durante 30 segundos y se metió 20 joyas en el bolsillo
Vayne. Good, but
y cualquier cosa que se encuentre en la casa.
tumbling towards a mega.
Personas que aprovechan cualquier detallito para sacar ganancia individual y le da igual todo. Ética, en plan, cero ética y moral.
They're going to get rid of the ambassador.
Cero ética y moral, bro. Es que sí, que puedes hacer muchas cosas para sacar ventaja en la vida, pero una cosa es
Blind
utilizarlas todas.
Nako last series, but I just feel like Gnar is so much better scaling, and you can also play that dive threat once you get the Mega Gnar. It does have some more trickier matchups, but I think with the Jake
No sé.
being out, with the Vayne being out,
Utilizar cada ventaja posible para sacar un poco de ganancia personal.
they could go into
Por algo existe la ética y la moral, ¿sabes? Del ser humano, que nos distingue de muchos otros animales.
but not really the end of the world.
Could always look towards something like the Varus as well, but with like low mobility, you can struggle a little bit into the Gnar, especially if he gets on top of you. Ezreal is the lock here for Kalist.
Me piro, chicos. Me piro, pibe. Esto es tremendo. Me voy a comer ahí un churrasquito gallego, nada de asadito. Y a tener planes por ahí. Chicos, me siento muy grande. ¡Mua! Y nos vemos, ¿ok?
Everyone's gonna pick
Cualquier cosita me seguís en OnlyFans, ¿vale? Tenéis el link.
I don't think you can play a Kali bolt into
Yeah, I
Astro.
think you're doomed if you play a Kali bot.
He visto los audios. El WhatsApp funciona, los audios del resto aún no. Anda para allá, anda para allá. Me piro. Espero que gane Koi, ¿no? Contra K-Corp, no me jodas. ¿Van a jugar a Calibot otra vez? Espera, quiero ver si juegan a Calibot. Un segundo.
You really need an ADC now to get some more physical
Si
damage.
me quedan en un medio, flipo.
Caitlyn does
A de carry.
relative safety because of her range, and you can threaten the Leona.
Deberían jugar Caitlyn medio.
Zenith
Change my mind.
blade range, and then you just order her down, and you have the Camille there for follow-up.
Me piro, chicos. Chao, 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 chao. Bye, bye.
A match made in heaven.
Yeah, because Camille wants to roam, while Caitlyn really wants the support to be with her, hitting tower together,
Pushing,
and pressuring.
pushing.
And Camille can do that as well, but the trade patterns as well is Caitlyn really wants someone to set up either her Q or her trap.
De día viviré pensando en tus sonrisas. De noche las estrellas me acompañarán.